Grand Rising, how you guys doing? Welcome to the show. It's your Coach Renz. Uh, what's today? I think it's Tuesday. Oh, it's gonna be hard. That semi-retired life. Still gonna be semi-retired, but it's hard out here when you don't know what day of the week it is. So today's Wednesday. Yeah, hump day. Welcome everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Coach Renz, and today we're going to have a conversation. It's going to be a little bit different than normal conversations that we have. This conversation is going to deal with the fact of which makes a better world, chakras or Christianity. We're going to do a little comparison here. After that conversation that I had, the last conversation I had yesterday with Wendy, the young lady named Wendy on TikTok, it was an interesting, the conversation was going all into the metaphysical and that sort of thing. So I want to get down more with that vibe right there, the whole metaphysical chit chat. And it made me start thinking about the fact, and I did a lot of research last night on, the different Christian organizations and how they are becoming metaphysical. Some of them you can go to churches now or you meet Christians on the street and they talking about chakras and I got to align my chakras and that sort of thing. And half of them don't even understand the chakra system or what it means, how it works, how to get there. And then they've tried to align it with the Jesus. I don't know if many of you guys remember, there was I think it was in like the early 2000s. It was a big thing I think it was the early 2000s. It was a big thing about, a movement was started about Jesus. He went to India, and in India, he learned about chakras and everything. And so he went to Egypt, then India, then came back. Then came when he was 33, he came to teach, and he was teaching Buddhism. And he had learned about chakras. And then they actually have a sect of people in India, Pakistan area, or like Thomas, doubting Thomas came to India and taught the people, and they learned a new version of chakras and Buddhism and whatnot. So it's all these different little stories. And if you was on the show some months ago, dang it just popped in my mind about this. So that's why I'm struggling on this part. But there was a movie about it was a talkie. It was a talkie. So if you don't like talkies, you may not like this movie because all they do is dialogue. I know old fashioned and a talkie, but from the movies that didn't have sound. But it was, some of y'all know the name of the movie where the man, he was Neanderthal or caveman, and he had been living for ever since the Neolithic period, and he was a college professor. He was getting ready to move and so on. And he finally told them the truth that he's been alive for all this time. And part of his truth was the fact that he had went to India, learned from Buddha, came and tried to teach the Romans, came to the Romans, saw the Romans were going the wrong direction, tried to teach the Romans. And then he started teaching in the Levant. They tried to kill him. He learned how to project his body to be dead. And then he tried to escape, but some of his followers saw him. And then the whole Jesus myth started. Is Man from Earth? Is it called Man from Earth? What is the name of that damn movie? I started 22 new businesses since we last talked. 3 of them are doing well. 19 of them have failed already. Well, damn, Chuck Norris. Kind of business you started. That's it. What is the name of that damn movie, though? Y'all know what movie I'm talking about. It's gonna kill me until I see the name of the movie, so I gotta look it up real quick. Man from Earth. Yep, that's the name of it. Man from Earth. And they had a part 2 called the Holocene. It wasn't that great. It was all right, but it wasn't as good as the first one. But there was a movie called Man from Earth, and he was saying that he was Jesus, but he was merely just teaching Buddhism. What year it came out, I'm not sure. It's not that old. Well, no, it's yes, actually it is. It's got some age on it. But let me see if it tells me. I had it on images, so it doesn't go to all. It came out in 2017. Yep, 2017 is when it came out. No, 2017. At least that's what it's telling me right now. The movie about a man who lived 14,000 years is The Man from Earth, 2007, sorry. And it had a sequel, Man from Earth, Holocene, 2017. Sorry about that. So, who said that? So you're right, Deborah. Coach is streaming. I stream Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I mean Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. 12 noon. Turn the thing on, the notifications on. All right. So if there's any Christians on here, I'm curious to know how they feel about the idea of Christians who have adopted the chakra system and tried to incorporate it into Christianity. For the ones that I've met thus far, they tend to say that Jesus is a representation of the heart chakra because of the love and the caring and the understanding that he gives, and because the heart. But those who are more astute in it will also add that he is the heart chakra because it is the connector between staying in this, the earthly realm and the higher realms of thought. But they are missing an aspect of that understanding because it is also the connecting of the masculine and the feminine, and it is the symbol that you see the Star of David as, but it's the connecting of the masculine and the feminine. But it is also a battle between staying secure in your foundations in this matter plane and lifting your consciousness up to a higher plane. So there's a lot more to it. If they knew that part, they'd be able to add it to it. But many Christians fear the chakra system because they are like, oh, you open up your chakras and you allow demons to come in, and so on and so forth. So a lot of Christians think that most Christians think that it's blasphemy, as some have already said, that it's just blasphemy. And not that the people who said it are Christians. Some of the answers I'm receiving from people, they will say that it's blasphemy. It goes against God, especially since most of it is rooted in the Hindu and the Indus and Buddhist beliefs, especially with Shanti. I need a Kush here today. Because she'll be able to give me the God goddess aspects of it from the Hindu religion. But it is more connected with the goddess. It's a goddess type of thing, goddess Ashanti. Shanti. And there are some parts of it in certain types of Hinduism. It does deal with Vishnu and some of the other deities as well. But because it was a system before the religion, but the system was incorporated into the religion, and they kind of happen in and around the same time, right? It happened sort of in the same time, right around 1500 BCE is when the chakra systems came into play, and that was right around the same time as Hinduism. So we don't necessarily know how well connected they are as far as the origin. This simply could have been in the same way that people figured out medicines by going out into the woods and picking plants and figuring out how to make medicine back in the ancient days. The chakras very well could have been a similar system that was just developed simply because somebody figured these things out. I mean, acupuncture is not part of any religion. Somebody figured it out. And since acupuncture and where we have these different energy points all over our body, the chakra system is relatively the same thing. The nadis move the energy from the different points, the prana points of your body, and move that energy into the right organization so that you can heal, you can have more energy. But with chakras, there comes an emotional state that is connected with it as well. And just to give, for those who, I don't know how well versed some of you guys are in understanding how chakras work and what they are, you don't need to pray about them. It's more meditation. It's through a process of meditation, but then mainly through that meditation, you change the way you think if need be, and then you act upon it. You live a life accordingly to that. So, although you have hundreds of points of energy all throughout your body, and scientifically we know this, that energy moves throughout your body. It's conducted through every aspect of your body and is primarily centered as if the main trail, the main road is your spinal system. This is one of the reasons why you find many chiropractors are very much into chakras. But that main road being your spinal system, and the 7 chakras are aligned up your spinal system. On a quick rundown, because I want to get more into, I want to have some conversations here. But a quick rundown so I can see your comments so your base chakra. Oh, I got a big ass chakra flag over there. So your base chakra, this is the one that is at the base of your spine, right between the tank and the genital area, your pum pum or your ping ping, right? So this is where the base of your spine comes down to when you're, especially, you can feel this or see this. You can understand this even more so when you're sitting, but at the base of your spine. And this is your foundational chakra. This one is, sorry, on the floor. What are you talking about? Oh, I saw something from my wife, and I will stop everything if I see her write something. So anyway, this is your base chakra. And your base chakra is the sign. Oh, yeah, I saw it. Thank you, baby. The base chakra is your foundation. It is this is where food, clothing, shelter, your basic needs, right? That's all you need. Just if you are a person who focuses in on, I just need to have food and shelter, and that's the primary thing that I have to have in my life. If it's out of balance, you become a person who is greedy for it, right? You have to have it. You have to have more of it. You can never be satisfied with it, because what is causing this chakra to be out of whack, either blocked or overstimulated, is fear of not having the foundational things you need to survive, right? But it is based on survival and that fear. Your next one is your sacral chakra. This one is in your genital areas. The sacral chakra, although most people focus on the sexual aspect of it, it is about all types of pleasure. The pleasure you get from almost anything, whatever you derive pleasure from. And many people, like those who we call thrill seekers or pleasure seekers, and they go and do certain things because they derive pleasure from it. When people like some ice cream, I derive great pleasure from ice cream, right? especially some good gelati. Uh, this is from your sacral chakra, but most people are made to feel guilty, especially when it comes to the sexual aspects of it. But in the other parts, um, it's the okay. Hold on, I just saw something really stupid, and I really gotta say something about it. I'm sorry. I know I'm in the middle of this, but this is like the dumbest. This is a dumb fucking comment. He said, "Married atheist is crazy," as if Christians made up marriage. A marriage license is something the government created. Marriage has been around before any of your little religion. How ignorant of history must you be that you make statements like that? Stupid. I'm sorry, that was just dumb. Okay, so let me get back. Your sacral chakra. So when people oftentimes you feel guilty about these things. Oh, and before I go away from that one, sorry, I went away. I didn't tell you how to get over it. So fear, to open up your foundational chakra and to be in balance with it, then just recognize that the fear is not real, that you're only afraid of things because you feel like it's going to stymie you from living a life. It's going to cause you to you got some emotional block that's making you become overly emphasized in it. So fear, you have to realize that you handle it and you move on. Your guilt in your sacral chakra it is pressed by guilt. It is people making you feel guilty about it and you accepting that guilt, right? And you feel bad about it, but this is where you forgive yourself. You have to forgive yourself of anything that you've done. If you've overindulged in any aspect of life, then it's simply an overindulgement. So you forgive yourself. You don't let, and usually this comes from other people. So you don't let these other people keep making you feel guilty about something. Let's say we see this in a relationship a lot when a person, you stepped outside the marriage. You said you're going to work on it. You work on it. You don't do it anymore, but they still, every now and then, they bring it up to restart the cycle. Restart the cycle. And they keep doing it as a measurement of control, as a way of control, and to continue to get that pound of flesh. So you can't let other people make you feel guilty. And if you stop having guilt, then that chakra opens. And one of the things that I found interesting, and I hate to spoil this because my wife and I are watching the series Lucifer. She's never seen Lucifer before, so we can watch it all 6 seasons of Lucifer. There's a part in it. She's already seen a semblance of it, but they get real deep into it, how they talk about, and I did a video about this a couple of years ago, about how the doors in hell, everybody has their own little room, and you're repeating whatever you feel most guilty about in life. And you repeat that cycle over and over again. It's called a hell loop. But the character Lucifer makes a great point. He says that the doors are never locked. That a person can walk out anytime they desire to do so. But the reason why no one ever leaves is because no one ever forgives themselves of the guilt that they feel about something that they did in their lives, which is what gets you to, which is what puts you in that situation. Now, I do not believe this to be a literal thing. Of course, it's a TV show, but philosophically, it makes sense. If our minds are able to stay connected, and your consciousness, rather, if your consciousness stays connected, then your consciousness will create whatever existence you have that you will move towards. If you are filled with some level of guilt, whether you believe in Jesus, I don't care who you believe in. Christians are taught that they are guilty from day one and that they are undeserving from day one of the love of this God. But so they carry into, if there is an afterlife, they're carrying this guilt into this afterlife. So they all going to hell because you will manifest your own hell and you'll be stuck in it. The Tibetan Book of the Dead, which was written before Christianity, talks about something similar, that when you're going through samsara, you will encounter all these demons and until you realize that you are the one who manifested these demons, you will lie and cower from these demons. It's from your manifestation of your own guilt, right? So guilt is incredibly powerful in stopping you from the joys of life, stopping you from connecting with people, stopping you from moving forward in thought and mind and body. Uh, Even when I was doing life coaching and personal training, so many of my clients, because of guilt, they couldn't change their lives. They were stuck. So in order to overcome that guilt, you have to stop believing the story that everybody's telling you. Stop allowing people to make you feel guilty about things that you have done, right? And you have to just say, okay, I forgive me. And this is going to be a double whammy when we get to the next one, because it's similar. You're going to do it twice. But since what you did has been fixed or forgiven, now you have to stop allowing people to make you feel guilty about it. Separate from those people. Change your environment, because once it's over and done with, there's no reason to stay stuck with those people. If a person was going to continuously remind me of mistakes that I made, I will remove them from my life. It's quite as simple as that. I don't need to have someone around me that's going to keep on bringing that shit up, right? So, and I'm even cautious of that, how I treat other people. If somebody has wronged me in my life, and there's been plenty, even when I'm still dealing with the wrong, if I've told them I forgive them, or if I've still hang around them, I will just, I'll eat it. When I'm feeling funny, I'll eat it. Like, there's a friend of mine. Well, he was a great friend of mine. I thought he was a great friend of mine. Last time I talked to him, did those feelings of betrayal come up? Hell yeah, they did. Since we had already talked about it, discussed it, there was no need for me to bring it back up again. So even though I had to deal with it, it was still in here. And in here, I let it go. I didn't bring it up to him because I've already told him, I understand. You had to do what you thought was best for you and your family. And we good. I'm good. Now do this work that I need you to do. So even within yourself, if you're feeling that, you got to let it go, right? You got to work through it. Otherwise, you're still holding on. You're holding on to it, which leads into the next one, which is your power chakra. This is the one that's found in your stomach, right? Your power chakra, many people, it's that gut brain. It's that thing that's instincts. It's that things that make you feel strong, but it's not necessarily power like your power over other people. It's your own inner power, right? It's that time you should do this or know you should do that. Christians like to call it the Holy Spirit. God talked to me. I felt in my spirit. The thing that other people say, my intuition told me, or my gut told me. How many times have your gut told you to do something, you didn't listen to it, and it turned out to be the wrong thing? I've done that plenty of times. Right? But the problem is, yes, your solar plexus. Look, I use basic terms, spaz, dad. I damn sure ain't using them, the Hindu terms, because I can't pronounce hardly none of that shit. But your gut chakra, your solar plex chakra. Sorry. Now that one is an interesting one because it's very similar to your sacral chakra, but this was your get up and go chakra. This is the energy that causes you to stand strong. This is the one that protects you, protects your life here. This is the one that when you don't feel like going to work, you get up and you go to work anyway. You do the damn thing. This is the one that when you know you need to get something done, regardless of how you feel, think, you go and you do it, right? This is the get it done. Right? Power. And it doesn't necessarily mean that you are over somebody else. It's willpower over yourself, right? So when you're dealing with this one, this is the one that makes life sustainable on this planet in this matter form of existence, right? So, but the reason why many people are failing at that life, struggling at that life, find themselves running to their fear, to their foundational chakra, and become and overcompensating with fear, right? This is what creates greed. They're overcompensating with fear because that power chakra is off centered, is out of whack. And most people think about, oh, it's not flowing, it's not flowing. You've been watching the Airbender, so you're thinking that, oh, it's about flowing, it's about flowing. No, it's about channeling. Either you got too much energy in there, or you ain't got enough energy in there. It's all every one of them is about balance, because you can overemphasize the energy in one space. So if you got a whole bunch of energy in your power chakra, this is when you become narcissistic. This is when you become controlling. This is when you tell you can't have nobody criticize you. Nero is a great example of this. Emperor Nero started balding at a young age. So he made it illegal for anyone to look at him from an above position. So like if you had a balcony and he was passing by your balcony, you can't be on your balcony or he would kill you. Like that was capital punishment, crime. Because his narcissism, his fear, his self-image, his lack of self-image, his fear made him so narcissistic that in his power chakra, he made a law that you will be assassinated if you look at him from above. If you criticize his look, he would kill you. Even if you gave him a compliment, he might kill you. And there's been many leaders who they thrive. They have an overabundance of energy in this area, which often leads to their fear and which causes greed. But the problem with this one, the way you get past this one, is that oftentimes when we're not, when you're narcissistic, when you got to recognize that you don't have to control everybody. You don't have to control everything. So that's when you're overemphasizing it. When is not enough coming through, when you become that meek little closeted person, that person who just, follows the crowd, the sheep, you never stand up for yourself, then it's the shame. People have shamed you, but the worst part is you shamed yourself. You've allowed that shame to take root and you shamed yourself, and you allow for other people's opinions of you to be your truth. And because it's your truth, the person that's hurting you the most is you, no one else. You're hurting yourself more than anything else because you're carrying this shame. You failed at something or something happened a long time ago and you've been carrying that shame. And sometimes it could be that somebody did something to you. One of the worst situations of that shame is when a person has been sexually molested and then they carry that shame. Society puts that shame on them. So when a person is ashamed of something, sometimes coming from the outside, but it's the fact that you've internalized it and made it your ethos. That's the problem. That's when it becomes problematic, right? What? Trying to think of something that I was ashamed of at some point in my life. Well, I mean, for about 6 years of my life, I didn't feel shame because I got a divorce from my kid's mom. I felt shame because I wasn't in the house with my kids every day. You understand? Like, I knew I couldn't be in the relationship with her anymore. And not that she's a bad person, so don't take it that way. But I knew that her and I have grown apart. Wasn't going to work, at least from my perspective. But not being in the house with my kids every day, I felt shame. I carried that shame, even though at first, I saw my kids every day. I went to the house, tucked them in, the whole deal for like the first year. And then I got them every weekend for the first year. And then we split weeks when they were out of school, and then the holidays and summer. And then that reduced down to just getting them on every other weekend, but we still split everything else. Uh, I had reconciled everything else, but not when it got to a point where I didn't have them every day in my life, like every day I didn't see my kids. I felt like a bad father. I made myself to be a bad father. Right. So I was feeling very ashamed of myself for becoming something that I never wanted to be, which was a bad father, because I thought I was a bad father because I wasn't in the house with them every day, even though I spent more time with them than the average divorced parents. It wasn't enough for me. So for about 6 years, I was ashamed of that. I was ashamed of that. And I know the moment that I stopped feeling ashamed of that. Uh, it was in 2014. We was city walking. I was city walking with my kids, and my middle child just out of nowhere said, "You know what, Dad? You're a good dad." And the other two chimed in. We was, if you have to know Atlanta to know where the hell I'm talking about. We was over there by Peachtree Center, right there where the but not at Peachtree Center, but across the street, a little bit more up the hill, right where that bank that has the big red Christmas balls every Christmas season. I know exactly where we were, like the spot when they said that. And at that moment, all the shame went away. All the shame went away. Sean said, trying little steps. You're right. Now, it's not like that one moment did it. It was that one moment was when the light bulb went off. There were other things that led up to it. I cannot remember, but other things that led up to it. So when you're dealing with that, you can then, when you're dealing with that shame, it comes to a point where you have to forgive yourself and let that go. Now, those first three are the things that we utilize in this life. And let me be clear. Chakras ain't got shit to do with religion on its inception. This is more of a philosophy, even though I'm not really reading hardly anything that y'all are typing right now because I want to stay focused. Now, so let me go through this. I say I'm gonna go real fast, but I'm sure taking a long time, right? The next one is your heart chakra. Your heart chakra it's a pentagram in its shape because it is two triangle. Even though chakra means wheels, the points where chakras intersect are actually triangles. Where the nadis intersect, I should say, are triangles, not actually wheels. The word chakra, which is a longer word, it just means the king that turns the wheel. But the heart one is the two triangles, one pointing up, one pointing down, meeting together, because it is the balance between your masculine and your feminine, right? The balance between your masculine and your feminine energy. This is where most people's heart chakra is shut down because of loss, the things that they've lost in their life. And especially as you get older, you start to lose more things. You remember in Any Given Sunday, when he was like, the older you get, the more things you lose. That loss causes people to shut down. But also it's the space that balances between your lower chakras and your upper chakras. Now, people like to say, oh, I'm living in my higher chakras. Okay, bullshit. You got to live in all of it. If you're going to use the chakras, you got to live in all of it. You have to have balance through all of it. And that's where the heart comes in. That's where the heart chakra comes into play. It creates the balance between your upper and your lower. There's nothing wrong with your lowers. Everybody's not living in a high chakra. That's just the sound good shit. That's like the people who walk around and say, oh, I got me a new car. Thank the Lord. It's the bullshit to make you feel like you're saying something good in front of other people. But your heart chakra is blocked when you focus on the loss. You know, one thing about being humans is that we have memory. And when we use our memory, Our memory can keep us focused on the past and not living in the moment. So if you're focused on your past of everything you've lost, then you go out of balance. And then if you become overly masculine or overly feminine, you become out of balance. So it's about not losing here. Now, this is where I said earlier that some Christian sects are saying that this is where Jesus lives, is in your heart chakra, because it's all about love. No, it's not just about love, right? Sure, love comes out of it. But when you allow yourself to focus on what you've lost and you start to grieve all the time, the last time I talked about this, I gave the example of a friend of mine who is still grieving her mother's passing. Mother died 20 plus years ago. But every year from March to May, she is depressed, which is why she's became a distant friend, because I'm not 20 years, and now it's been 25 years. It's too much. You're still living in that grief. You can't allow that grief to hold you. Some people live in the grief of losing a relationship. Some people live in the grief of losing a child, losing a job, losing a career, losing finances, whatever grief is holding you. And oftentimes, because you lost that, you start to overemphasize the things of your foundational chakra, that fear one that causes you to be greedy. Go straight down to that one, past the power, past the sacral. Some people, the loss does cause them to function more sexually, or function more, or to try to dominate other people. I know someone who, because of the loss, they became a controlling person, and their method of having a relationship with anybody is to control that person. So they isolate people. They try to be financially dominant over them. They try to keep the person, control their social medias, all that sort of thing. They ran to their power chakra from that fear and became a controlling narcissistic person because of a past loss, right? Because of a past loss. So that's how that starts to work. Now, to move forward, these people love these next three. These next three people just love them. The people who are, and just as there are fake ass people in every religion, there's fake ass people when it comes to this as well, who try to make it all super metaphysical and tra-la-la and flowers and rainbows and all that kind of shit. I'm just going to give you the real of it, because the way I apply chakras, I apply it in a sense of fucking reality. Get it, deal with it. But your throat chakra, and somebody keep putting the real name in there, and I appreciate you for doing it. But I just call it basic shit. Your throat chakra. This is the one where your creativity comes from. This is where your ability of expression in life comes from. This is also where your truth comes from. And that's what unblocks it, is truth. Well, yeah, unblocks it is truth. When you tell lies and lies about yourself, many people are lying to themselves about who they are, right? You got so many people, oh, I'm a Christian, but you don't live the life of a Christian. Oh, I'm a Buddhist, but you don't live the life of a Buddhist. I'm a this, I'm a that. You claim these different things that you are, but you're not living that life, right? This is one of the, let me make somebody mad. They're going to know who they are when I say it. This is one of the struggles that I had in having a relationship with women. I am very straightforward. I am going to tell you exactly who I am, and I'm going to be that person. Now, there may be some things I discover with a person that I may not have fully understood, but I'm going to be pretty much exactly what I say I am. And I'm going to respond and react exactly how I tell you I am. Like if I were to tell you that these are the top three or four things that make me go and make me work in a relationship, be in a relationship, thrive in a relationship. And then I tell you, these are the 3, 4, 5 things that will make me run from a relationship. Now, if you can't do these over here, if you can't be this, and you have any of these, okay, so let me repeat. If you can't do this and have some of this, we should be together. If you can do all this, but you have some of this, we still can't be together, because even though you may give me my top 5, you may exhibit one of my must not haves. That ain't gonna work, because I'm not going to say, well, I just, as long as I'm getting my top 5, and even though this one over here I can't stand. No, if you got any of my 5 must not haves, I don't give a damn how good you are. It ain't gonna work. I'm not doing it. I'm not putting up with it. Nor should anybody else. And anybody who's ever truly known me, and I know my wife might still be on here, she'll tell you. She'll tell you. This is exactly how I am. You can show me my top 5, not show me any of my must not haves. 6 months later, you show me one of my must not have. We done, and I'm out. It's over. That's my truth. I recognize that truth about myself. It doesn't always work with everybody. Some people can't handle that amount of truth, right? Some people just simply can't handle that amount of truth. But it is what it is. I'd rather you know exactly what you're getting into. I sat on that porch and told my wife exactly who I was, and we were just friends at that time frame. And we could be together for 20 years. Start doing that shit over there. I'm not finna sit up here and try to work this out. I've seen people fake the funk for a long time and then flip it on you, and then want to go through counseling and want to go and sit and talk and sit and talk and sit and talk. And then after 5 years of counseling, them jokers just, oh, this is just who I am. Well, shit, you knew that before. You ain't got time for all that. You got time for all that. You got to know your truth. You got to know who you are. The discovery of self is one of the most important things that you could ever do for yourself. But if you don't know, if you're lying to yourself, right? I remember this one young lady, she was talking about her house was junky. Let me just say it plain. I was a junkie. Cluttered like a mother. Just cluttered and junky. Oh, I used to be a clean person. Then I was dating this other guy, and he used to complain that I used to clean all the time. So I stopped cleaning and everything. And I just have, I want to get back to being a clean and organized person. Now, your ass probably was never clean in the first place. You was probably never clean in the first place. You just lying. Your ass was never clean. You're making stuff up. And, I told you guys before, and especially on my relationship channel, if I walk into a woman's house and I hear that goddamn fire alarm beeping, I'm gonna walk right out. I'm gonna walk out. Unless if I walk in and you just been walking around the house and it's just beeping, I'm out. You knew I was coming. You could have called me and said, hey, my fire alarm thing just started beeping. Can you pick up me a D-cell battery on your way? You ain't gonna think I'm gonna come down and we finna hang out, and every few seconds that beep, I'm gonna walk out. It's ridiculous. It doesn't make sense. You're just showing me that you're a person who just lets shit just linger. I ain't gonna handle the shit. I'm just gonna let it linger. So you got to know these truths about yourself and stop lying to other people. Stop lying to other people, but most importantly, stop lying to yourself. Right? If you fat, and just be happy and be fat. If you skinny as hell, be happy and be skinny as hell. If you're a gym rat, be happy and be a gym rat. Don't sit up here and lie to people. I saw this video. This person was talking about something. Oh, I go to the gym and you got to go to the gym. And I'm looking at the person like, you ain't going to the gym. You might go to the gym, but you're just walking around socializing. So he's got some tough rules. I You know, man, you just have things. Everybody got these small things that irritate the shit out of them that you wouldn't put up with. Like if a person has a lot of mouth noises, like they smacking shit all the time, no, because I can't enjoy a meal with you. We can't have dinner if you. How we gonna have dinner? That joker Dre said be clapping to the beat of the fire alarm. But I mean, that's the truth. That's the truth. That's the truth of who I am in those regards, and you have to be that way. You know, a lot of y'all on here, y'all have spoken y'all truth that y'all don't have patience because I have some of these conversations with some of these people, and y'all be like, "Oh, I would have cut that motherfucker off a long time ago." Y'all ain't got no patience. Akush, where you been? I've been trying to do this by myself. But so you have to be truthful to yourself. You have to know who you are, and that's the heart. The first part, you guys got to know who you are and be honest about it. You're going to find out that there are things about yourself. In order to open up and have this in balance, your throat chakra in balance, you have to open up, dust off the books, recognize who you truly are, decide if you're going to accept that person, and then be that person. If there's something about that truth that you don't like, then go through the process of changing it. But you're going to have to be that person, right? Stop going around lying to people. Stop lying to your boss. Stop lying to your coworkers. Stop lying to your parents, lying to your kids, lying to your friends, and all that kind of stuff about who you are. And you know damn well that's not who you are. Self-discovery. Now, the one that people all get afraid of and everybody want to say, oh, my third eye open, it popped open and I saw demons. And this is the one Christians be telling you, like, oh, the demons be running through, you open yourself up to demons, and I saw demons and it looked like an eye. Third eye chakra don't look like no damn eye, right? That's some Western made up shit, right? That it looks exactly like an eye. There's no concept. When I researched this years ago, in the most ancient versions, shit changes as it goes along, but in the most ancient version, it was not an eyeball. It wasn't like a damn eye. It's just the concept of connection. It's the concept that everything is connected, that your eyes open. See, these two eyes will lie to you. So I'm going to hear the philosophical aspect of it. These two eyes will lie to you about the realities of the world around you. Your third eye opening is you seeing the world and seeing things exactly as it is, not the made up bullshit that other people are saying, not the made up bullshit you are saying. Now, put it in terms like this. Remember yesterday, the guy was speaking about Germany. I was telling him that one of the problems that Americans have when they go to Germany is that they go to Germany expecting Germans to function like Americans. They're seeing Germany through the eyes of an American who expects things to be done the same way they did it in America. You go to KFC, that woman who was yelling at the girl for not speaking English. Why? Because you were in a KFC. It's an American company. You think they're supposed to speak English in Germany? She's seeing the world the way she thinks the world should be, not the reality that companies are multinational companies in what may be from one country, but then they have to acquiesce to however that country functions. Like the food at a restaurant, you go to and I know this is terrible, but if you go to a fast food restaurant in America and then go to the same fast food restaurant overseas, some of the products are different. Some of the products taste different because there are certain preservatives and all that kind of shit that they don't allow, right? So they have to see the world how the world is in that country, right? So when you're, and that's just an example of opening your third eye is seeing the world as it is, seeing life as it is, seeing the truth of it all, not how you want it to be, but what it is. we who have deconstructed from Christianity, that is one of the things that happened to you. I ain't saying it popped wide open. You see everything. I'm not giving you that much credit. You would have to demonstrate that first. But I will say that it popped open just enough for you to see the religion for what it really is. To see that there's no historical data to support it. To see that there's no archaeological data to support it. To see that it contradicts itself on its head without the, oh, you got to have the Holy Spirit in order to understand it. No, you got to have the Holy Spirit in order to lie to yourself about it. Right? So your third eye popped open a little bit. You saw the truth of what it is. Right? You saw the evil narcissistic God that dwells within that religion. So you saw the truth of it. The thing about that, and this goes across the board, most people ain't gonna like you. A person who constantly just sees the things for how they actually are is not the most liked person. And you will struggle yourself because you will realize you don't like humans. You don't care for society or being amongst society. I don't know if the story of Lao Tzu is true or not because we have no data on Lao Tzu. We just have the philosophy of the Tao Te Ching. But Lao Tzu, supposedly, as the legend goes, when he was a Buddhist, but when he had reached samadhi, or the Buddha mind, I should say, I think samadhi is Hinduism, but when he had reached the Buddha mind, he realized that he no longer needed Buddhism. But in that realization, he was on his way to go live in the mountains and shit by himself because he didn't want to be around the rest of the humans. Humans, it's hard being a person who sees things as they are and being around other humans who still see the world in whatever different thought processes that they have, right? In the false sense that they have, I should say. So Lao Tzu wanted to leave, journey on, go be by myself. Sometimes I sit in a room full of humans, watching them live in a fake reality. And it's not now don't give me the Matrix bullshit. I'm talking about their perception of what's really going on, what's really happening here, what's really around you. That's what I'm talking about, right? Dealing with that. And so let me hit this last. So accepting the false reality, only seeing the world through your eyes, your lens, that's what's going to keep that from happening, from opening. All this bullshit that people like, oh, you open up your third eye and all of a sudden your demons and shit gonna attack you and all. That's fear tactic bullshit. But like Akush just said, open your third eye means seeing the truth, right? Raising your intuition, getting clarity and wisdom, because that's what happens. You gain that clarity. You see the truth. You see that reality. Now that last one, which I'm gonna say that 99.99999% of the people who study this, who meditate on this, 99.999% of them lie. Because 99% of them have never opened their crown chakra. They've never opened their crown chakra. But that crown chakra is the one that's right outside the body, right above the head. But that crown chakra, this is, people like, oh, I opened my crown chakra and then I was astral projecting myself into the past and the future and da 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 da. Or I open that crown chakra and now I am above the need of money or life or substance. Connections. Connections are great, but connections, I don't need connections. I'm connected to the all and the universe and all that bullshit. Actually, I'm finna piss y'all off. I'm gonna use the first Christian story that caused me to start questioning Christianity. And that is when the rich young ruler came to Jesus, and Jesus asked him, he said, hey, he came to Jesus and said, hey, yeah, well, how do I get to heaven? And Jesus said, look here, man, have you followed all the commandments? He was like, yeah, I follow all commandments. Shit, that's why I'm rich. Because you know the way the Old Testament roll and the way we believe that the wealthier you are is because you've been following them commandments. Look at Job. All right, bro. Tell you what, give away all your shit, sell it, and give it to the poor and follow me. The rich young ruler went away sad. Oh, hell no, this Jesus motherfucker crazy. The very thing that God blessed us with, this motherfucker talking about I'm supposed to give it away. So hell no, he rolls off, right? So then the disciples are like, damn, G. I'm sorry. Damn, Jay. Yeah, he can't get in because, based on our beliefs, the blessings that you receive is a testimony to your righteousness. And Jesus was like, look him. All y'all gonna have thrones up there with me to judge the 12 nations. But let me tell you this right here. It's easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the gates of heaven. They was like, what? Because what they understood and what people do not understand and did not understand when I was in the church is that they're not talking about, it's not an impossibility for a rich person to go to heaven. It's just the fact that a rich person cannot be so attached to their riding high up on their camel. A rich person cannot be attached to all the goods that are carried on their camel. It is the releasing of all your earthly attachments, not feeling so connected to having shit, being in positions of power, that to be able to, if you gave it away, you gave it away, and there's no emotional attachment that goes with it. If it's taken away, that there's no emotional attachment that goes with it. If someone decides that, hey, and I'm not saying you're just cold, but you don't dwell on it. You don't allow the loss to become fear and guilt and shame, right? You don't start lying about why they left, And see, it's about being able to detach from it, but not detach from it. And you now are just some cold person, right? It's the detachment that lets you see the reality of it, the truth of it, right? And when you see the truth of it, you then walk in that truth. Okay. Many people, I told my wife this, we was having this conversation. And I told her, if any person ever says that they had no part to play in the breakup of a relationship, they lying. It may not be the major reason why the relationship ended. It may not be something that was major at all, but you played a part. Everybody plays the part in the breakup of a relationship. It happens. There is no way in hell I can be 100% making my wife happy 100%. It's impossible. It's just not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. I can't do it. Nobody can. Nobody can make somebody 100% happy. Nobody can fulfill the 20 things on somebody's list. The best you can try to do is by 80% of them. And hopefully you got their top, you got their top 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But that's your best thing. That's the best you got. Anybody who says, oh, my husband, my wife, they make me completely happy. They do everything that I want in a man or woman. Lying ass liar. They're going to irritate you in some form or fashion. They're going to get on your nerves in some form of fashion. They're going to lack something in some form of fashion. And everybody has a lack. So to say that you played no part, it's bullshit. It's bullshit, right? You're lying to yourself. And I've seen this in so many couples that I work with, where it's always you. It's never any me. I ain't gonna say never, but most of the time I have to get them to the point where they recognize, what part are you playing in this, so we can get to the root of the issue and deal with it. When you open your crown chakra, you don't have the attachments, you lose something. So when for what, 3 months, 6 months, 6 months. Yeah, 6 months. Business wasn't doing well. I still need to make sure that my kids was taken care of, that they had a roof over their head and all this sort of thing. I was divorced from their mom. Well, no, I wasn't divorced yet. I was separated from their mom. I was homeless for 6 months. I lived in my truck for 6 months. Right. I was not so attached to I got to have this roof over my head. They needed one. I need to make sure they had one. So for 6 months during that separation, I lived in my truck. A black man in Atlanta living out of his truck, but owns a business. Most people will try to dog you out, call you a failure, say all kind of negative, messed up things to you. And I had some people who said some negative, messed up things to me, and they let me know what type of person they really are. And so I took that information about who they were, and I understood that we did have a 1-foot pole in between of us. Now we have a 20-foot pole in between us, because I recognize where your reality lives. So I don't have to have, especially when, if me having means that the most important people in my life at the time frame do not have, I'm not doing that. I will live out of my truck to make sure that my kids had a roof and food and clothes and everything that they needed, that their life didn't change. It's not a big deal to me. Other people, no. Other people are not that way. They are so attached to their money. They so attached to their religion. They so attached to their clothes, attached to their image, attached to their job, attached. Like when I meet you, and if I say, hey, man, well, it's nice meeting you. Why don't you tell me about yourself? Or, even just in how the conversation naturally flows. And the first thing you're telling me is, well, I'm a chemo psychologist therapist, and I got a degree from Wharton Business Harvard Medical Journal School. Like, okay, you are so attached to titles. The titles define you. I wanted to know who you are as a person. I didn't ask you about all that. If that who you are you the titles that you achieve? Or are you a kind person, a loving person? Are you the person who likes to have fun? Or are you a quiet book in the corner of a room with a big ass pillow person? Like, who are you? Because your titles are not who you are. You're attached to those things. Your house is not who you are. You're attached to those things. Right? So, and even in how people respond to other people, when I see people who constantly have to talk about another person's lifestyle, what that person has, what that person doesn't have, how that person lives their life, then you're seeing a person who is still attached to all those things. A pastor once told me that what you see a pastor preach on the most is what that pastor is dealing with. In other words, what a pastor preaches on the most is what that pastor is still attached to. And I remember him saying that to me that's when I first became a deacon. He was like, I'm going to tell you how to understand all these different pastors you're about to meet in the Kennesaw Baptist Association. If you listen to 20 sermons, whichever sermon they repeat the most, that's what they're still dealing with. That's what they're attached to. People are the same way. What you see a person constantly saying over and over and over and over again, that's what they're attached to, what they complain about, what they preach against. Also, what a person complains about another person about is also an indication of what they're attached to. Right? So I know that was a very long intro into this conversation. I'm pretty sure Big Chief is probably gone by now. Been holding for a long time. Oh, no, still might be there. Because I do want to hear you guys' thoughts. I haven't been able to read much of your comments, if any of your comments. I know there was a few that I saw, but I didn't want to lose track of where I was. I haven't even lit my damn cigar, so y'all know. Mm-hmm. Seeing it just like cigars, right? As far as attachment. If I had to, Big Chief, I don't know if you're still there, but it wouldn't bring you up. You might have to resubmit it. I do not have an addictive personality because of this whole going through or of understanding chakras. Now, let me say, I didn't have an addictive. I had a high tolerance for anything. That's the first thing. I had a high tolerance. But what I've never had, what I refuse to have, is an addictive personality. Like I don't get addicted to substances, except for ice cream. That was a joke. But I fortified my mind at a younger age before I even knew what chakra words were. But I fortified my mind at a young age to never become addicted to something mentally or emotionally. And mainly because I saw those addictions that people had, the emotions that people put into addictions, I saw how it controlled them, and I refused to allow something to control me. So even before I knew about chakras, I was opening chakras. So when I was when I needed to have some extra money for my popcorn shop when it was in South DeKalb Mall, and I knew I was going to have to move, the mall wasn't going to they were supposed to revitalize the mall, revitalize the neighborhood, do some remodeling. They decided to never do any of those things. So the mall never upgraded. So after suffering in that lease for 3 years, I knew that when that lease was up, I was getting the hell out of that spot. I needed a better location, better foot traffic, better economics. So I was getting ready for it. But I had to cut back. So for 3 years, 3 to 4 years, I didn't smoke cigars. Just okay. What can I cut out? How can I save money? Well, one of the first things was to stop smoking cigars. You tell some other people that, oh, you gotta stop smoking cigars if you want to be, to save some money so that you can invest in this or invest in that. Motherfuckers will keep doing it. They won't stop. Oh, no. I think I ain't giving that up. If I gotta give that up to have this, it ain't worth having. You got those attachments. So you drink one cup of coffee a day, but you gotta have it. No. There have been times where I've given up coffee for similar needs. Like so like when I first got married in the Marine Corps, 19 years old, you're not making any money as an E2, E3, not making that much money. She came in with a whole bunch of college bills, helping out some other people by taking over their car notes. I was broke as hell. There was no coffee. No coffee other than the disgusting coffee that with that little coffee pot that you might have at work, or the disgusting coffee on a Navy ship. That's it. But no, 3 years, no coffee. Didn't get coffee again until I moved to Germany, and had been promoted twice. That's when I got some coffee. So I got to ask you guys the question. Let's answer the question. I want to see if you think the world would be better if everybody followed the ideas of chakras and opened up their chakras. Put a 1 in the comment. If you think the world would be better if everybody followed Christianity, put a 2 in the comment. If everybody was not walking around in fear, was not walking around in guilt, was not walking around in shame, recognize that, was not sitting up there grieving their loss, understood the truth and spoke truth of themselves and know themselves. If you put a symbol in there, I can't see what the symbol is, or emoji, I should say. If they understood the connections and how everything is connected in the reality of where we live, and then this weren't so attached to everything. Or believing in Jesus, that everybody goes to hell except for those who believe in him. That I'm not going to outlaw slavery in my book. We're going to have slavery. We're going to have. Now, Jesus does say things like feed the poor. The Bible does say feed the poor, take care of the widows. It's not all bad. It got a few good things in there. Right along there with slavery, feed the children. Right along there with women of property, take care of the orphans. It got its good and bad. Chakras can have their good and bad in the sense that if, like I was saying earlier, if you overemphasize any one chakra, put too much energy into it, it can have a negative effect. Too much fear creates greed. Too much detachment too much detachment creates a lack of empathy. So you can put too much energy into one chakra, which causes a negative effect. It's kind of like oranges are great for your body, healthy. But if you eat too many of them, you're going to get vitamin C poisoning. So it does have its negative parts. Oh, no, Chuck Norris, not worshiping. You don't worship anything in chakras. That's the thing about it. Now, I know Akush is going to say something different. But from what I can see, from what I've researched, chakras and the Indus religion developed roughly around the same time. Chakra system was incorporated into the Indus religion. And when it was first incorporated, there were only 5 chakras. And then I think the Buddhists incorporated 6 chakras. And then later on in this incorporated 7. And then, of course, Western society just be fucking around with, just be messing everything up. It's a good question. Who came up with chakras? How do we know it works for sure? Is it similar to believing Christianity in way once you believe in it, you believe it works for you? No, it's not a thing about believing that it works for you, because it's not a placebo. I understand what you're saying. Gotcha. There is no who for the who came up with chakras. It's just been a part of the Indus system, the Indus people systems of understanding philosophy. It's more of a philosophy than it is a religion. It's not a religion at all. It's been incorporated into religions, but it's not a religion. So we don't know who, but we know the people, which is the Indus people. More than likely it came about because, their way of medicines, maybe from a previous animism religion. I don't know, but there's just no information on that. First time it pops up is in the Vedas, right? But as far as the placebo, no. We know for a fact that your body has an electrical current that runs through it. We know for a fact that the primary conductor of that goes up through your spine. We do know that there are certain points of your body that affects your organs. If we really got into this conversation about chakras, there are certain chakras are connected to certain organs because there are certain points along your spine that, like your heart chakra is connected to your pancreas, and it's not just your heart, but like your pancreas and some other organs in there. They can be affected. And just like there are energy points on your feet that the reflexologist will manipulate to help you with medical problems, health issues, the same way a acupuncturist would do as well. This is why you'll find many chiropractors will utilize these systems, because they work with the spine. We know that there is a physical aspect of it that you can measure, but we also know that there's a mental aspect of it. And measuring the mental aspect of it is the same as psychology. There's a psychology behind it because it is a philosophy. So I would say, no, it's not like Christianity at all. Christianity is just a bunch of bullshit. It's just a made up story that has no evidence of its existence. And we've done studies to show that when people pray, there was a recent study, Christians hated this study, that showed that when people pray, they have about the same amount of effect of people who don't pray. But then they found another instance where another study showed that when people pray, they actually have a worse outcome than people who don't pray. Or was it when they know people are praying for them, they have a worse outcome than people who do pray? Well, worse outcome than people who don't pray. But I think the mental part of chakras, I mean, the physical part is great. Don't get me wrong. The mental part, what would our world look like if people just didn't overemphasize their foundational chakra? Right? What would our world look like? When you overemphasize your foundational chakra, it creates greed, it creates hoarding. And for those who have a high amount of concentration in their power chakra, when those two are together, when you overcompensate power chakra, overcompensate your fear chakra, you become powerful, you become wealthy, but you become greedy, you become a hoarder. You become the very thing, the image that most people paint of rich people. They call you heartless. You try to take, even when you've taken everything, you try to take more and more and more and more because you have a fear. You have a fear. I'm not trying to make this political, but it's an example that everybody would know, where everybody should know. There was one aspect of me that understands some of the things that Donald Trump does when it comes to all the money he's accumulated from as being president. I remember studying him about 20 years ago. And when I was studying him about 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when I was studying him back then, I recognized that because he went from having hundreds of millions of dollars to being negative $1 billion, that affected him in such a way, because that's when he changed his whole business model, right? That's when he went away from trying to own land to just branding. Don't want to own land. I want to brand the name, get money off the name. Owning the land caused me to go into debt when everything fell in hell in a handbasket, plus all the other bullshit that I was doing. But I recognized a shift, and that shift It's based on fear. Some of the things he does out of fear is because he fears going back to, he knows what it's like to be $1 billion in debt. And I saw him, and I saw his body language in this one speech about 25 years ago when he was talking about that. And you can see the fear of ever going back to being $1 billion in debt. And that drives him. I'm not saying he's justified in anything that he does. You can agree with him. You can disagree with him. That's not the point of this example. But if I could, I wish I could find or even remember the damn interview that I saw. But you can see the bodily fear. And that type of fear creates greed. It creates an overcompensation of power and accumulation of stuff, things. Now, we may be able to see that in somebody else, but can you see it in yourself? Are you able to see that in yourself? That's the question. Oh, we might actually get somebody else to talk to. Maybe, maybe not. But that's my question for you. Can you see that? Do you have the ability to see that within yourself when you are overcompensating because of a past event, a past struggle? Anthony, it's not bringing you up for some reason. Retry it again, maybe. Because anytime you have a chakra, like Kush just said, fear blocks chakras. Anytime you are dealing with that fear, there's going to be a negative return. There is no such thing as death. I'm gonna get a little hermetic right here for a second. There is no such thing as death. There is always constant vibration. There's constant movement. You're either going to the right or you're going to the left. So if fear is blocking that foundational chakra, you go to a position where you overcompensate for it. It's just like people overcompensate for love, right? They lose a loved one and then they overcompensate on the next one. You lose a child, you overcompensate on the next one. So although fear is not listed in every chakra as a blocker, fear will block every goddamn chakra. How can I make this volume stay where it's at? That gets on my nerves. So you best believe you have to get past fear. Coach, you on TikTok twice. Link does not work in the other live. Yeah, StreamYard is doing this thing. Let me pop it up real quick and see. And I'm gonna post it again. If you're on your phone, let's see. I didn't have it up on the screen, my screen. I don't know if that has anything to do with it. But they're doing this new thing where you're streaming twice on YouTube. One's supposed to be for a laptop and another one's supposed to be for your phone. I don't know what they're doing. So try the link now. Who said that to me? All right. Let me bring you up. Y'all came in pretty much at the same time, so I'm gonna bring you up in the order to which you were received. Sean.
Yeah, Coach. Pleasure to meet you.
Indeed. Let me
question for you.
Get a look at it.
And I was talking with Kevin in the chat about this.
Mm-hmm.
Having physical problems or health problems, would they interfere with your chakras?
That's a good question. I'm thinking through it, and I don't want to feed you some bullshit.
I appreciate that.
because they help because they have shown signs to help people in some of their ailments. I will say that if you are having a physical issue, that initially it would take more work as far as to physically see the effects of opening your chakras if you have some type of physical issues. But as far as the mental part, the emotional part, it wouldn't affect it at all.
Okay.
Yeah. But like let's say you're having stomach issues or back pains and it's chronic. It could hinder you because to be able to focus on your meditations, to be able to whatever pathway you choose to open them up, which often always involves some form of meditation. But some of them, depend upon the pathway, is meditation in different positions and things of that nature. It's going to be harder for you to get there. Now, it is promoted through a healthier lifestyle. So, once you start eating better, you start utilizing some of the yoga poses. It's going to be hard to get into some of those poses, but as you continue to practice and practice and practice, then those poses, your body gets stronger and you're able to maintain those poses. And so then the effects of opening your chakras should help with whatever that ailment is. Now it's going to be relative. I have to know, like, what ailment are we talking about? What type of ailment?
Well,
If you,
my spine was fused, so I have metal from my hips to the middle of my back.
right.
So getting in some of them yoga positions ain't happening.
Okay, true. So I had a client 20 years ago, same situation, right? She had a metal rod up her back. And some of those poses, so I had to brace her or put her like against the wall in order for her to maintain some of the poses, so that she wasn't so much focused on the pain or the discomfort, that she could actually focus on opening that chakra. You understand what I'm saying? Like, even for myself, because I got some bone deterioration in my lower back. When I'm meditating, my back is against the wall. I lean against a wall because I can only meditate without leaning against the wall for maybe 5 minutes. But if I'm leaning against the wall, then I can do it for 30, 40 minutes.
Okay.
So I just put myself in a position where I have support. And we're getting older, so shit, the body's going to deteriorate.
Yeah, 49 years old. I'm beat up.
Yeah. But when you're dealing, but so medical issues like that, you just have to be creative in how you support your body so that you can focus. You can put your energy and your focus where you're working on that chakra.
Okay.
Yeah. What else you got for me?
That was it. Literally.
Okay. All right. Well, I appreciate you. Glad to see you.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Yep.
That was Sean, everybody. Hello? Are you there? Your microphone is muted.
Oh, okay, yes. I'm sorry. I was watching you on my TV and I had you muted on my phone.
Oh, okay.
All right. Coach, thank you for having me on. Sean, this is Dre Bills. It's funny that we clicked on the link the same time. Like I feel like Sean's my brother on Facebook. We watching his comments. We always say the same things. Okay, Coach, we start off. Today feels like uh a church, not a church session, but a coach session, if you will.
Okay. Sorry, man.
You
Is that a
know,
good thing or a bad thing?
it's a good thing. It's like it wasn't the usual. It's not that I complain about the usual stuff, but today felt more like freestyle. Like we was sitting down and being well, for me, because I never heard about chakras, so this was appealing to me.
Really?
So my question, yeah.
Okay.
My question is, I asked you the question with the Christianity thing. I said, well, how is it different with the Christianity thing? And you gave an answer saying in measurements with the mental and the physical. Can you tell me more about how they came up with the measurements with the proof of how chakras affected the people mentally and physically and even spiritually.
Well, so if you look at, depends on where we're looking at the process from. If we look at the information from India, or if we're looking at information in our more modern technology, let me rephrase that. If we're looking at information from the past, or we're looking at information from our modern time frame. So let's just look at modern time frame of seeing what happens to people when they are going through this process. So like I said earlier, we know that your body conducts electricity through its vein system. This would be tantamount to the nadi system. And so we know that your body is moving this energy around, and that there are points where where the energy meets and connects. So those things can be seen in the body, right?
Okay.
Just through medical techniques of the looking at your vascular system, looking at your spine, and so on and so forth. We also can see where the nerves and blood flow go to the different organs, and how they come from a centered point to your different organs. And so if that energy that's going there, when we can measure the energy. I don't know the names of the medical instrumentations, so that's why I haven't named them. I'm not naming them, but we can view how like in the MRI, you can see things happening within the body.
Right.
View that when people are in different states of mind, states of being, how different areas light up. So
then quick question. Does that mean like they put the subject, like, okay, say I'm fearful, I'm in a fearful state, that energy and flow should be different compared to if I'm in a joyful state? Then how does chakra affecting that? Like, could it change if I'm in a joyful state and my energy flows like this? If I have the knowledge of chakra, could I change my energy flow, and vice versa? If I'm in a depressed state and my energy would naturally flow like this, because I have the knowledge of the chakra and I practice it, could that literally change my energy flow?
Yes. Like, there have been studies that have demonstrated that people have reached certain levels so that their energy patterns have changed in their body, or different organs, based on them meditating and thinking and working on their chakras. And MRIs, the ones that I saw, they were done with MRIs, and those MRIs were showing, how they were thinking. My wife just got functional MRIs. Yes, but I've seen where the MRIs are showing how these things change within the body based on a person participating in that type of situation, where they're meditating on a certain area, focus on a certain area, and then it shows up. So we know that we know that is happening. We know that something is working. Do we know every detail of it? No, of course not. But we know that it has an effect on it. Because your mental state, one of the things is the power of your mind. And this is another way of measuring it. The power of your mind is so intense, so phenomenal, that you can cause the body to then create the reality.
I agree with that.
I don't know if you ever seen Dr. Spinoza's work.
No.
Great work in that field. But so when you look at, another way that we measure things like this is by looking at the psychotherapist work. Psychotherapy work is not going to be measured through instrumentation. It's going to be done through more of a sociological experiment kind of thing, where you got 100 patients, and the 100 patients, 50 of them are going through this process, 50 of them are going through that process. Or you see a pattern within the 100 people, and that pattern says that, well, the 100 people, out of the 100 people, 75 of them engaged in tantric meditation. Through that tantric meditation, those 75 people had greater mental results than the other 25 people. So through social observation, we can also see an improvement. right?
I'm usually regularly always on your side. This chakra thing, right, made me think a little bit about exactly when you responded and you said your mind plays a big role on how your body heals, right?
Mm-hmm.
I look at the
Yep.
comparison with Christians. I looked at a study before. Mind you, I am an atheist. I agree with most of the stuff. Just devil's advocate and thinking. I looked at a Christian study and I saw a study where they said people who it's not people who know that they're getting prayed for and they're
Mm-hmm.
praying themselves, they
Yep.
they heal faster and better. And I think that plays major to what you said. The mind is a powerful thing. Just like when you was a kid
Wait,
and you
which
fell.
wait. Which study was that? Because the study I read said that when people knew they was being prayed for or were praying, that it didn't show any difference in people who weren't praying.
Right. That means that I'm gonna have to do my homework and copy and paste and send it to you in the chat after we get off. But I'm gonna send it
Hold
to you.
on. No. We're gonna start right in right now.
He said, "Share it now." All right, coach. Let me. But remember, I'm on my phone, so if I try to look for it,
Mm-mm.
I'm gonna be off thing.
Well, you know, hold on. You don't have to look. You ain't gotta look. I go find it myself right now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So because there are multiples there has been more than one study.
Mine was in in the 2000s. I think around 2016. That's when I was looked it up.
Where there's one that was done in 2006 is a cardiac
Okay.
bypass, and they found that they didn't have any benefit whatsoever because people prayed.
But just think. All right, I don't have my study right now, but just think about it logically. If based on what you said, if the mind really has that effect, and they really believe that their God can change or help them, their prayers actually help them, then wouldn't their belief with their mind actually heal their body?
Now, here's the thing about that. Here we go. Okay, so all right, so you gotta all right, so I was distracted. So you got two studies, and I was just distracted by the studies, but I was listening to what you're saying, and I'm going to respond to just what you were saying, and
Okay.
not the two studies. One by John, but go look up the National Institute of Health study, and the one and the John Templeton study. All right,
Copy.
those are the two main ones, and there's no benefit. So now, placebo effect.
Yeah, that's the
The
way we
placebo
put it.
effect has to be accounted for in every situation, no matter what it is. All right, because of the power of the mind.
Correct.
Yes, I have personally been in a room with a woman whose husband was dying of an immuno disease, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the difference, though. This is the difference than you see with most Christians. Her mindset was, my husband is going to walk out of here fully healthy, right?
Because God can do that for her and him.
Hold on. Yeah. But she also, if her children didn't have that mindset, they could not come in the room. She fired the first crew of doctors and nurses because she told the doctors and nurses, if you don't have that mindset, you cannot come into this room.
Oh, she was an extremist.
Yes, her mindset was, he's going to walk out of here. Now, she prayed and she did all these other things as well. But what I saw was her mindset was saying, if I got doctors and nurses who know that this man is going to walk out of here, then their mind is going to apply the right treatment for him, not the bullshit, not the basic. Oh, he got immunodeficiency disease. We're gonna give him some of this and some
She's
of that.
saying you gotta believe it. I don't care about your physical attributes. You have to believe it. That's
Right.
what she's saying.
That's what she's saying. And she didn't give a damn if the pastor was coming in there, nobody. If you walked in that room, you better have a 100% that this man gonna get up and walk out of here. Right. And here's the kicker. She knew me. She knew me better than most people at that church. She know that I didn't believe in Jesus. but she asked me to come there. She asked me to come there, and she asked me to sit. And she said, "Do you think?" And she asked me, she said, "Do you think my husband?" I said, "Hell yeah," because I loved her husband. I thought he's a great dude. I was like, "Oh, he too strong to die. He too strong. This ain't getting him. You're gonna have to smash him with a damn 18-wheeler. He too strong to die." I literally told her that. I said, "So nah, he ain't." So she was like, "I need you to come up here." And I literally walked up there because they were like, the hospital was like 5-6 blocks away from my house. But anyway, no, but that's what I saw when I was up there. That she was forcing the people there to think beyond the bullshit. And she had her prayer part, but those doctors were creative. They've researched different stuff that they never thought to research before when it came to his immunovirus. And they figured out the right medicine. So it ain't the prayer. The prayer didn't create the healing. You see what I'm saying? Like I can sit when when my back is hurting real bad, I can sit and meditate like I did yesterday because I had to go save my wife because the tire blew out on her. And and dude, if I sweep, my back can start hurting. So I know changing the tire is gonna hurt my back. So then we got home and I sat and I meditated while we were just sitting there on the fact that, and I was just seeing the pain, the inflammation in my back go down, go down, go down, go down. And my back is perfectly fine. The mind,
Coach,
the body, but
as you say that, sorry, go ahead.
I was just saying the mind can control the body, but I'm not saying don't utilize nature's medicine either. That's what it's here for as well.
Of course. As you said that, I thought of being a kid, and you play around and you get cut. And the first thing that you think of as a kid is to put that Band-Aid on that wound. And once that Band-Aid is on, you feel 10 times better as a kid. You can't remember why, but you just know that Band-Aid helped you in your mind. I don't know, it could be just me, but when I was a kid, in my mind, once I got that Band-Aid on, I was all right. I might still feel the sting from the cut, but the Band-Aid made me feel, yeah, I'm good, I'm okay. And I feel like that.
Go ahead.
I feel like that same effect is with Christianity and with the mind. The mind, as you said, is a very powerful thing.
It is. And when were you born?
1987, August 18th.
87. You talking about? I guess y'all were using Band-Aid. Back in my day, born in the 70s, we just rubbed some dirt on it. That's what I thought you was gonna say. Just rub some dirt on it and keep going.
Yeah, my father told me that he was born in the 40s, and my father, man, just throw some dirt on that. My father never took me to the hospital, nothing. Just, man, you're all right. Just wash that off, throw some dirt, throw some peroxide or something, and you'll be all right.
That's right.
It reminds me of Scientology. In Scientology, they'll say, you feel no pain.
Right. Now, and I'm with that. Most pain is your body, your mind can turn off those pain receptors. I mean, that's what going into a coma is. Your body has experienced something so traumatic that your brain turns off the sensory to the trauma area so that your body can start to heal itself. That was the whole purpose of going into a coma.
Right.
It's a natural thing. Of course, we've gotten away from understanding how nature works and how our bodies work. So when these people were over in the East and they knew about acupuncture, they understood that your body is an energy vortex, is all over it. They knew the shit. We just have gotten so westernized, we forgot. And now we think that all of that is some bullshit. And they've replaced it with a coping mechanism of a religion, right? Believing that there's some God in charge of all of this stuff when actually it's your body, your mind. Now, of course, there are certain things we need medicine. You get shot, go to the doctor, let them cut you open and get the bullet out. Okay. But as far as all this other stuff, no, you really don't. And the problem with religion, though, is that they carry doubt with them. And it's the doubt is the reason why. I honestly believe that when you go back and you read those studies that I told you about, just typing when you just Google prayer studies, the he dropped, must have dropped, but the John Templeton one and the National Institute of Health, I guarantee if you could interview those people, you will find that the overwhelming majority of them have some level of doubt within their prayer system. Christianity creates the doubt itself. It tells you that you are worthless. It tells you that that you're not deserving. It tells you all those things. And how do you think a person is going to flip the doubt out of their mind when they're sitting up there being told from birth that if they doubt anything, that they're not worth anything, that they're worthless? That just simply doesn't work. So I guarantee you those, if they did the same study with people who meditate, they'll get something different, especially if they come up from the East. What up, Vincent?
What's going on, man? How you doing?
Pretty good. How you doing?
Okay, as far as the injury thing, like you a Mason, right?
Yeah.
I heard that you couldn't be a Mason if you have like spinal injuries. Is that true?
No. I ain't never heard that one before.
It's true. That's why I asked.
That sounds like some made up bullshit.
Huh?
That sounds like some made up bullshit.
Yeah. I got spine. I was paralyzed temporarily for like.
I was just about to say, I know Masons who are in wheelchairs.
But I'm just saying, I was paralyzed temporarily for like 2 weeks. Because I got shot in the spine. And I didn't pray to no God for nothing. The only thing I did was morphine out. I was just on the morphine heavy.
Yeah, no.
I was depressed in the hospital board. Okay. So I was on the morphine heavy.
Okay. But no, as far as that's concerned, if there's somebody with some type of disability, then you just make accommodations for them to still be able to go through all the processes that they need to go through. That's it.
So the thing is, how long have you been meditating? How many years?
Since what? 30, 40 years? Wait a minute. Since 1991.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've been, my daughter's 16 now. I'm going to say 10 years around the ballpark. But I have actually felt the energy shoot through my back, but it stops. Have you ever feel the energy shoot through your spine?
What kind of, depending on what kind of energy we're talking about here. You saying that like why you?
It's energy that shoot through my spine. Like say hypothetically, like not hypothetically, real talk. Like I say I have a dream, and I would be like, I would have a dream journey, whatever, and then I actually accomplished what I was supposed to accomplish in the dream. Then I'll wake up and I feel the energy shooting through my back, but it will stop at a certain point. It won't go all the way through.
I mean that.
You ever read Serpent Power?
No. I mean that could be a result of the dream, because oftentimes when you're dreaming, your body will naturally respond to the things that are happening within the dream. Now, as far as moving energy up my spine, I do that constantly. Like I just did it. I just moved some energy up my spine, and it's the process of it's a process of utilizing your breath that allows you to be able to move energy from one chakra to another chakra, or move it up and down your spine. And it's also a point of, so one of the things that you would do is, and there are many different processes, so this is not the one and only, but when I want to draw energy into a particular chakra, then I will focus on, even though I know I'm breathing through my mouth or my nose, in my mind, the breath is coming in, which is called prana, is coming in, and prana is just energy, living energy. It's coming in whichever chakra that I'm focused in on. So I will breathe in this prana into that chakra and then move it up or down my spine to whatever chakra I want to release energy from. And I can, because my mind is seeing the energy move, I feel the energy move.
Yeah, you made a statement earlier, a question earlier, like Christianity versus chakras. I believe if people do the chakra route, they would actually really need like schools for that, because when the trauma and stuff comes up, most people are gonna get freaked the fuck out and gonna get scared.
Well, there are schools for it, and there's plenty of information online. I mean, it's never going to happen. I mean, let me not say never. It's not happening right now. I mean, there has been a large movement of people who started practicing yoga in the Western world, and because of their practice of yoga, they started learning about tantric, especially tantric yoga. You start learning about chakras. So chakras have gained a huge popularity right now. It's been clothed in some new age bullshit. It's been clothed in some Christian bullshit. But as far as its purity, it will continue to grow. Will it replace Christianity? I doubt it.
Like I have a personal experience. Like I had a financial block because my mama stole money from me when I was younger, and that was sitting in my heart. And I was like, it tripped me out because I would think it would still be somewhere else. But when I did have that realization, something I completely forgot about. But when it did show up and reminded me, and that block got removed. But yeah, my mama stole some money from when I was there, and that shit was literally caused a block in my heart.
How'd you remove the block? How'd you remove the block? How did you remove the block?
Just from just meditating and dreams and whatever. However, you go through the process, the purging process. Because I feel like when you work with your chakras, you're really purging yourself from whatever you experienced that affected you emotionally or psychologically. I mean, that's just my own personal understanding.
No, that's one part of it. I mean, that is one part of it. I mean, you do getting over the fears or the blockages is vital, and then finding balance is the next part.
And like, people be coming up to me asking me questions and stuff. They be talking to me. They be like, I start meditating, I see the demon. I just laugh. Like, it's just your fear just manifested in your psychology.
Yeah, I mean that's why I brought up the Tibetan Book of the Dead, because the Tibetan Book of the Dead really it has that part of it where when you're going through samsara, you see these demons, and the way to get past it is to realize that they are self-created. All demons and spirits are self-created. There is no actual demons and shit running around other than the ones you create for yourself.
Yeah, I actually said that in the chat, like, I know a couple videos ago. But yeah, demons are self-created. Yeah,
so when these people say it, just like the video I posted, which I thought it posted yesterday, but it actually didn't post till about early this morning, that these people claiming in their little near-death experience that they went to heaven and hells and they seen demons and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, you ain't see no damn demon. Now all that shit is made up based on pop culture references.
I have an auntie, my family from New Orleans, and she was going heavy on, what's that channel called? Whatever the channel called, the church come on all day. So she was going heavy on that channel. I forgot what it's called.
I don't know. Hold on for a second. Hold on for a second. Fred, you need to connect your microphone or your camera, dude.
So basically, she was going hard on that channel, and she started having these hell visions, and she actually wrote them down and stuff. I was like, what are you watching? And then she told me what she was watching. Like, stop watching it. And then eventually, she stopped having them visions all the time. But she was having these visions of souls in a lake, and just crazy visions she was having. But just taking all that, I think that channel.
Some people said Daystar or TBN.
No, it's like something. It's regular TV.
I don't know.
It's like it's regular TV. I forgot what it is, but
I don't know. I learned at a very young age that what you see is what your mind projects into your dreams. I learned that when I was 7 years old. I watched my grandmother clean fish, and then that night I had a dream that there was a whole bunch of fish in my bed. And from that moment, I realized that what you visually see, your brain recreates when you dream.
Or what you experience, or how you get like emotionally attached to a situation.
Because all you have is you have those memories, and your brain reorganizes those into your dreams. Now, unless you dream about something that you've never seen before, heard of before, has never been described to you, then that might be something different. But when it's just the same, when it's something that you've seen before, that's all it is.
Yeah, there's no reason to be scared of the chakras. I mean, you have them there in your body, and it's not just 7. There's multiple of them. There's more than 7, but
yeah,
the 7 are the main ones.
Yeah, I think it's like what 109 total chakras.
I don't know how many it is. There's a lot of them. They're in your feet, in your hands, leg, or nadis, whatever you want to call it.
Well, the nadis are the pathways that the energy travels.
Yeah, like
so, like your vascular system or your nervous system.
When I first ingested sea moss, I did a dead man pause meditation. And he felt my chakras. I was like, "Oh, this is trippy." Like I actually really felt them like swirling around.
Cool.
And I'm like, "It's actually real," but it was the sea moss that that triggered it. Well, and a lot of work. It was years of work. It wasn't like I just started meditating like one day and then it happened. It was years of meditation.
Yeah, it takes time. It takes a lot of time to develop. But let me let some other people get up here, man.
Go ahead, man. I gotta work anyway.
All right, appreciate you. Let's see, we got Fred. Oh, I just thought about that.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Are you over 21?
Yes, sir.
All right. And are you a believer in Jesus?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Your name Fred?
Yes, sir.
Are you Fred Adams?
No, Greenlee.
Oh, damn. No, I just had a thought. It's a guy on my Facebook page who's always trying to come up here and always saying some stuff. I never thought about him going over to TikTok. So just hold on for one second. Fred Adams, since your phone will not work on the Facebook feed, go to my TikTok page, Deconstructing Christianity, or at Coach Rance 33 on TikTok. Find the live and see if you can come on that way. I never thought about that until I just saw your name.
So you're gonna have 2 Freds on here?
Oh no, I only have one person on at a time. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think Fred's smart enough to figure it out. But
dang, Fred. I wish Fred Fred been waiting longer than me, man. I'll let Fred take my spot.
Oh, no, to hell with that. You got your spot. So what do you think? What do you think?
Yeah, I just, I'm new to TikTok, man, and silly. I'll be seeing some interesting topics and stuff, man. I just so happened to get on yours, and you said demons were self-existing.
Yeah.
Is that what you said?
Well, self-created, yeah.
How's that?
Because you make them up in your own mind. You have been taught about what demons are, and when people have these so-called near-death experience and claim that they went to hell, and they claim they see demons are down there doing this and doing that, doing all these different things, they are making this up in their own mind. It is impossible for them to see these things happening. All right. So you say you're a believer in the Bible, right?
Yes, sir.
Tell me where in the Bible it says that demons or the devil rule hell, and they will be administering the punishment.
Well, scripture says Satan. It doesn't even say that the devil's down there. It doesn't even say it.
Right.
But think about this. Are you familiar with the story with Jesus? He had faced that guy that was possessed by demons.
Mm-hmm.
And you remember when the demons asked him, they said, why are you here? It's not our time. Mm-hmm. And they said, can we go inside the swine? And Jesus said, go. So the demons went inside the swine, and the pigs jumped off the cliff, and they went into the ocean.
Right.
Key word, they said the abyss. Those demons, those evil spirits actually went back into the ocean, to the abyss. And abyss, I believe, is translated as hell. Okay. So they went somewhere.
Okay. So in first century, they had 2 different mindsets of death, after death. That would be Abraham's bosom, which is where Lazarus was, and then there's Abaddon, which is where the rich man was. Right. Abaddon is a place of torment. Now they developed this based on when they was under Greek Hellenization and understood Tartarus and Elysium.
Okay.
So in their understanding of Tartarus and Elysium, there's a place of torment, there's a place of heaven, that beauty and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is
paradise.
Right, paradise. So when the demons, so in that story, what the author is trying to emphasize is that it's not the demons' time yet, meaning that Revelations, apocalypse haven't happened. So they haven't made, it's not their time to be cast into this lake of fire.
Okay.
There's no indication that they rule anything in hell, that they are in charge of tormenting humans.
Okay.
That's why it says the beast and the followers of the beast and those whose name were not found in the book of life are all thrown into this lake of fire to be tormented. So even the beast will be tormented.
Right.
So when people then say that they have a vision of demons at harbor, in hell, doing stuff, that comes from Dante's Inferno, from Milton's Paradise Lost. That's a medieval imagery. That's medieval imagery that was created and has now become part of our psyche. Because
can I pose a question though? Okay, but you have people, like let's say, somebody from the streets, right? Don't go to church. Don't know nothing about God, nothing about demons, nothing. I met guys like this, but they get, they die, and they end up seeing these things, but they had no knowledge, none whatsoever about the Bible, none about demons, but yet they still were able to see what was down there and what was going on. I mean, how can you prove that? You know what I'm saying? As far as they didn't see, they didn't read Dante's Inferno. They don't know nothing about it.
Fred,
Yes, sir.
Fred, you're being intellectually dishonest, Fred.
Explain to me, sir.
Let me tell you what. Wait. What city are you from, Fred? Where you seen these people?
Georgia. I'm in Georgia.
Oh, you in my Atlanta?
Nah, my brother and sisters, everybody up there, but not me. I'm a little further south.
Oh, okay. All right. You in Georgia. Is Georgia where you met these people? These people you know?
Yeah.
Now, Fred, do you have to go inside of a church to not see churches on almost every street corner, especially in the Black neighborhood?
Right.
Do you not, if you watch television, did you not see the cartoons with the devil on the shoulder and the angel on the other shoulder? You are surrounded, whether you go inside of a church, whether you ever crack a Bible open or not, if you grew up in America, you are surrounded by Christian imagery. You are surrounded by Christianity on TV. They always talk about, you got, oh, praise God. Even in our normal idioms that we use, people do something happens. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh, thank the Lord. Even if you don't even believe in them, you still might say that, right? Thank God. So you are, in America, you are socially engineered or socially indoctrinated into Christianity, right? So whenever you have a emotional moment, Christianity is going to be the main projection that you have. Because if these same people were in India, depending upon where in India, it's either going to be the Hindu belief or the Muslim belief that they're going to have this emotional outpouring. So to say that they don't know anything and then they have these images, that's not true. That's being intellectually dishonest, because you are surrounded by Christianity in America.
Well, the thing with me, I've actually seen demons. I've actually cast demons out of people.
You got to be able to prove it.
Well, I can't go back to I can't take you back to the part where I actually cast the demon out the person, but that person that was possessed, I can't get into detail. It had knowledge that that person that was possessed couldn't have had. And
knowledge like what?
had supernatural encounters, man. Like seriously, out in the streets when I was out there hanging with my homeboys, I've seen crazy things.
There's no such thing as supernatural. It's just natural that you can't explain.
Well, according to the Bible, God is spirit, and He goes outside of the five senses. So it's hard to decipher spiritual things when you're coming from a carnal mind.
Nah, that's that excuse that people use all the time, because the fact of the matter is the Bible can't prove the Bible. You cannot use the Bible to prove things that are in the Bible. That's a closed loop debate, a closed loop argument, I should say. You got to be able to demonstrate it outside of the context by which it is claimed. Otherwise, it's just because you say so.
Right. And because that's where faith and logic, it doesn't coincide. I have faith.
But that's the illogical part of that argument is the fact that I have Hindu friends who make the same claim that you're making. I have Muslim friends who make the same claim that you're making. I have friends in most of the major religions who make the same claim. I've witnessed people go through processes in Ifa, which would be the same claim that you're making. So, and of course, a Christian would say, well, they're doing it through demonic spirits, but they'll look at the Christian and say the Christian is doing it through demonic spirits. So without some other type of proof, all y'all just talking, and it's really your mental and emotional states of mind that's going. Now, as far as knowing things that a person shouldn't know, let me tell you something. If I had that Lucy drug, or the limitless pill, there are things in this mind that I have. There's more that I've forgotten.
I understand what you're saying.
So if I had the limitless pill, you would think there'll be shit coming out that you'd be like, how in the hell did he know that? Because of some rare little moment that I read half of an article on something, and bam, I know it. So when people say that people they knew things that they couldn't have possibly known, unless you know everything that they encountered, you can't say that.
Mm-hmm. Can I share something with you then?
As long as it ain't preaching.
You saying a lot.
As long as it ain't preaching, yeah. No, I don't live in Atlanta right now, though. I'm from Atlanta. May rather to be exact.
Yeah, but you got family there, right? So I'm pretty sure you go back and forth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay, since we're talking about, since we're on the subject of knowing things that you shouldn't know, what if I told you I saw a glimpse of the future of Atlanta? Of what's going to happen? Now I want you to, hey, look.
No, wait, hold on. The reason why I chuckle is because I can make the same claim. And I'm not Christian.
Yes, sir.
But
you got a piece of paper on you?
But go ahead. I do. I always do.
All right, cool. I want you to write this down. Mm-hmm. It's short. It's not long.
Mm-hmm.
I saw that Atlanta's finna ramp up. I think the federal government is finna equip Atlanta for a huge civil unrest. I want you to write that down. I saw it. I saw fires. I saw all that going on in Atlanta. It's gonna come soon. There's been things God showed me that came to pass, bro. Like,
okay, how soon is soon? I need more of a definitive timeline, not just soon.
When the Holy Spirit, one thing about the Holy Spirit, when He revealed things to you, the Bible said He only revealed things in part. So He don't really show you everything. He only show you pieces of it.
Okay.
And then you have to intercede. Man, I'd love to be at the barbershop with you, buddy.
The thing about when people say it's going to come soon, it's going to come soon. That's a popular thing that preachers always say. It's going to come soon. It's going to come soon. Because in the repetitive cycle of society and life, everything that has happened in a place will happen again. Okay. Atlanta has been through multiple unrests in the city.
Right.
I've lived just in the 19 years I lived there as a kid and the 20 years I lived there as an adult. I've seen Atlanta repeat the same cycles of unrest, of violence, of, I didn't see the whole city on fire, but Sherman burnt the whole damn city down. I've seen the government come in and try to screw up Atlanta. I've seen the government mess up Atlanta. Then I've seen the government revitalize Atlanta. I've seen the business and the people all do the same thing over and over again. So that is such a vague prediction that it holds no water.
Be another one there. Write this one down.
All right.
2026, the Great War is going to happen. 2026.
What's the Great War?
I believe it's probably going to be the beginnings of actual World War III, bro.
Okay, so you saying not the beginning. Not the beginning. Oh, that's your wife?
Yeah, she was calling. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
You sure? Because wife is more important than me.
I already know she got me. She tried to ask me what I want to eat before she got home.
Okay. So World War III. Now, people have been predicting World War III is going to happen all the damn time. So, but you're saying in 2026. Now, when you say the beginnings of World War III, are you saying, how like Ferdinand was assassinated and then it built up to the war, or the build up, or the war itself in 2026?
Something's going to really pop it off. I'll say it that way. Something's going to really pop it off.
Okay.
2026.
Okay. And hell, looking at who's in office, I wouldn't be surprised. But okay.
I get it. But the Holy Spirit told me. He whispered that in my ear.
But next time, ask the Holy Spirit for some details, bro. I'm not trying to be funny, but because Nostradamus made some predictions, and then all of a sudden people were like, "Oh, that was Hitler." You know what I'm saying? Because they were vague.
Nostradamus, I think Nostradamus was using the scrying to see the future.
I don't know what he was using. I just know that I don't think he saw any goddamn thing. Those predictions are vague enough that you can apply them to different things. His predictions have been applied to multiple things. Like the same prediction had been like, first they said that, oh, he predicted Napoleon. Then they take the same prediction and say, oh no, that is Hitler. And then somebody else will use the same one and say, oh no, that was Trump. Right? It's kind of like, oh, Ronald Reagan was the Antichrist. I don't know, you probably weren't old enough for that one. But it was a whole big thing. Ronald Reagan's name, if you do it calculated by the numbers, is 666. Ronald Reagan is the Antichrist. And it's like 11 people. Barack Obama was the Antichrist. There's 11 people that they try to say is the Antichrist. Right? Based on them being 666. The Social Security card was considered the mark of the beast. You didn't know that one, did you?
No, I didn't know that.
When Social Security cards first came out, that was considered to be the mark of the beast. Now they talking about the little chip implant. That's the mark of the beast. The credit cards was when I was a young man, ATM cards was the mark of the beast, because credit cards and ATM. Oh, just after a while, you ain't gonna be able to buy nothing without a credit card or ATM. Well, ATM card. People are getting rid of those now. The shit's on your phone. So now they say the phone is the beast. These things are so vague, even though the beast is Emperor Nero. It's Nero. And they weren't. That was Nero. It wasn't. They ain't got nothing to do with anything in the future, in our present rather. But as for, you need specifics. You need to be able to say 2026, Donald Trump is going to start a war against China, and that war is going to kick off World War III, because Russia then is going to side with China, and then the NATO is going to side with America, and the battlegrounds for this war will be in Afghanistan or the Middle East or something like that. It has to be specific. Otherwise, it could be vague, because I've seen people say, oh, the Great War is going to start in this year, and then there's some kind of economic war that's going on, and they'll say, oh, that was it. Like, no, you said war.
I get what you're saying. But the thing about the Holy Spirit, again, he don't reveal full detail. The thing about what God does, when he sends details like that, he wants you to seek his face and pray for more information, or intercede on that part.
All right, well, get the praying.
And sometimes
Get the
Sometimes.
get the praying and get them details in.
Can I give you another one, man? It's short.
Sure, because
America,
I want to know.
America will be invaded. I saw it. I saw the invasion of America. I saw America be invaded, bro. It was bad.
Who invaded America and when?
I believe it's gonna be Russia. It was I share it with you.
What makes you think it was Russia?
Because I think Russia is the. I mean, that's gonna be the one that's gonna oppose America. It's the second largest superpower in the world.
So you saw like their flag, or you saw the people, or something like that?
No. I saw them coming down in parachutes. It was a normal day, and I looked up, and it was hundreds and hundreds of men coming down in parachutes.
Man, you better stop watching Red Dawn, the 1980s version.
So the Lord,
you know that
the Lord.
Fred, I'm gonna let you finish, but you do realize that was in the 1980s, the movie Red Dawn. That's exactly what happened.
Okay. I get it. Trust me, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, man. I even saw the revised version.
I refuse, but okay. So sometimes you can't remake a movie now. Leave it alone. But you saw Russians, and they invaded, and
it was 2 separate. Yep. They came out of nowhere, man.
And they invaded where? East Coast, West Coast, North Coast, South Coast?
I'm East Coast, so they came down East Coast, Georgia. I saw them on parachutes coming down. Just like a normal day, bro. And all of a sudden, I looked up and I saw hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of soldiers jumping out of helicopters.
Okay.
I'm telling you this stuff because
I'm with you. I'm gonna let you have it. It's just okay. So I'm a Marine. Study military tactics, huh?
Yes, sir.
Study military tactics. Oh, tell them simplify. Study military tactics. Understand military history. Mm-hmm. The Russians are not dumb enough to, if they're going to attack America, it would not come from the East Coast. That would be the absolute worst, because that's where they're going to meet the most resistance is from the East Coast. We have more military bases on the East Coast. Our Navy is big. Our Air Force is big on the East Coast. The population is more dense on the East Coast. More guns. Right. Most of the civilian guns in America are on the East Coast. If they wanted to attack and actually build a front, you either going to attack from the West Coast or the Northwest Coast would be the most prominent. Come through Canada and attack from there. Plus, for their own personal logistics, they have a better chance to sneaking up on us coming from the West Coast or coming through Mexico. So through Mexico, through Canada, West Coast, that's why Red Dawn did it that way.
Right. But you don't believe there's sleeper cells here, though?
There's sleeper cells everywhere. It's not a belief. I know that they are, because
right.
I just know that they are.
So do you being a military soldier, true or false? Wouldn't it be true if the best time to attack America is when America is actually at its weakest?
Of course. Oh, and when is this Russian thing supposed to happen? Is that part of the 2026 thing?
Okay, so all I know is 2026 is the Great War.
Okay.
But as far as the invasion,
sometime within that Great War. Gotcha.
I don't know. I think that's off in the distant future.
Well, probably if there's a Great War, probably sometime within that Great War or right after that Great War. I mean, since that's what Russia did after World War II it was the Soviet Union at the time frame. After World War II, the Soviet Union saw that America was tired of fighting. America was still fighting the Japanese, and England and all those really couldn't put up a fight. So that's why they took all those countries, because though the Europe was at a weakened state, so it made sense for them to take those countries at that time frame.
Okay, can you write one more thing down for me,
man? Go ahead.
But it's for you though, man. It's for you.
There not be no proselytizing. Go ahead.
There's an asteroid coming.
Is this Wormwood?
Yeah, I believe so.
And when is this coming?
So I don't know exactly, but I'll tell you this: the Lord showed me in the vision that He showed me a quick flash, like a camera flash, like in the sky,
Right.
and I felt a boom, and it shook the earth, and I ran in the house, and I looked inside. I looked over the TV monitor, and it said we are now using solar power. So the impact of the asteroid knocked the electricity, I guess, the grid out, and then it reverted to solar energy. So if you go right now in Georgia, was crazy on Highway 96 back in the day. There wasn't no solar panels out there. Now you go on Highway 96 over by Perry, Georgia, and all that. And solar panels all over the place.
Yeah, I know. I
so anyway, and then it said that an asteroid hit 75 miles off the coast of California.
Okay, I hear
so
you.
That's where, whatever this thing, that's where it was going to hit.
Now, you know, I can have pretty much all your visions if I read the Bible and watched TV and studied history. I can have all these. You can. If you read the Bible and read Revelations.
I'm saying.
Revelations talks about wormwood, about an asteroid named wormwood is going to hit the earth, and then it's going to poison all the water in the streams and so on and so forth. So, you know, I can, if I read the Bible, I could have that vision. If I read the Bible and people, you know, they've changed Gog and Magog up every 50 years as to who Gog and Magog is. Right now it's China and Russia. So the armies from the north. And so Russia is the villain of Christianity, Russia and China, as far as American Christianity is concerned. So, and then of course, reading Revelations, you can come with the World War III and so on and so forth. Now, as far as the Atlanta part, you just need to be from Georgia. And
but are you aware that the Euphrates River has dried up?
It has not dried up. It is drying. And that, but that is a cyclic thing that has happened every couple hundred years. It dries. It never dried up, and then it goes back. But here's the problem with that. If the Euphrates River were to dry up right now, then it will be out of order of what the Bible says how it's supposed to happen. So even before it dries up, I think it's the I think the fourth angel is supposed to blow his trumpet, and then 4 angels are released on the banks of the Euphrates, and they have a 250 million man cavalry army that's supposed to then kill a third of the population on the planet, right? So that has to happen before the drying, and so many other things have to happen before it dries up.
I thought that it was dried up for them so they could cross.
Right. No, it's not cross the river. The Euphrates, according to that one, I think that's one of the bowls. It was when like the 6th bowl being poured out or something like that, where and in order for that to happen, the Antichrist has to have already created a one world government, one world religion. And the drying of the Euphrates is supposed to provide a pathway for the Antichrist and his people to walk up it, and then these frog demons are going to jump out their head. So that's what it says. So So
you very knowledgeable about the Bible, man.
So all of that has to happen first. Otherwise, your God is a God of disorder. Because those things have to happen first. So just because it's drying, the Euphrates have dried many times, and anytime our global weather, our global temperature has been higher, 2 or 3 degrees higher, the mountains in Turkey don't get enough snows to produce enough water for the Euphrates. Now we are going through a different time frame of it because we have a higher density of population than they had in the past, and Turkey and Syria have been blocking off the water from the lower Euphrates. And that's why, if you notice, they only show you the drying that's happening in Iraq, right?
Okay.
They don't show you Syria. They don't show you Turkey. Euphrates is perfectly fine up there because they built dams to block those tributaries and block the water and keep it in Turkey. if the earth were to cool down 1 degree, average temperature cool down 1 or 2 degrees, and we have a massive winter in Turkey, then the waters of the Euphrates will flow like they used to before. Because it's based on snow caps, on the snow caps in the mountains in Turkey. But like I said, though, now you can say it doesn't matter how it dries up as long as it dries up. And I'll let you have that. But it's out of order. It's way out of order.
Okay.
Right. And you know what's funny? You know what video when when I started to do this full time, you know, my first viral video was about that very subject.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Oh, wow.
I was down in Orlando standing next to a pool, and I was talking about y'all talking about it's drying up. Look at all this water next to me, being a smart ass. But yeah, so but you got to put it in the right order. If and this is just my advice to you, if you're gonna, you know, continue to follow Christianity, don't jump on those claims like that when they're out of order of how your Bible synchronizes them. Otherwise, it opens the door for people like myself to be able to make the statements that I just made.
Right, but so you believe everything in the book of Revelation is going to happen all simultaneously?
Oh, I don't believe none of it's going to happen. But if you're going to believe that, then you have to. John of Patmos visions all happen in a chronological order, because he says, I saw the angel, and they shouted out, who's the lamb that can open the scrolls? And he said, and then this scroll was open and this happened. And then that scroll was open and this happened. And then he talks about the Antichrist coming. And then he says, and then the other angels came and they blew the trumpets. And I saw this happen and I saw that happen. And then some other stuff happened with the Antichrist. And then he said, and then I saw the other angels come and they poured out the bowls. So he's saying this vision, the description of this vision happens in chronological order. He's making it be in, so it has to then happen in chronological order if it is to be deemed true. Otherwise, you have to say that John didn't see it in chronological order. He messed up.
Okay.
But the thing about Christianity and any religion actually is that and I know this is going to sound, I know how you may or may not take this. I don't know. If I want to keep you in my church, if I want to keep you beholding to this religion, if I can point to things that are happening in life and draw a connection to anything in the Bible that creates fear, I'm going to do it because it works. Fear keeps people in line. Fear keeps people coming to you. And the thing about religion, I'm using fear to activate your sense of hope in order to keep you connected. Like it's a dual devious. It's not devious. I ain't gonna say that. No, it's devious. It's a dual devious technique, but it works. It works. Like Democrats use that shit like a champion to keep poor and minorities voting for them over and over again. Fear and hope mixed together.
Yep. But you know the things I asked you to write down, right?
Yeah, I wrote it down. I'm gonna keep it too.
Thank you, man. Look, what I'm saying is, I didn't get that from church. I got that from relationship.
Okay.
I got that from relationship with the Holy Spirit.
I hear you, Fred. And Fred,
I got something else for you, right?
Fred,
I got something else for you right now.
Fred, this is the last damn thing I'm writing down.
There's a famine coming.
Oh, what?
Worldwide. It's gonna hit America.
Look in South Georgia. For all of y'all who didn't understand his South Georgia-ness, he said there's a famine coming. That joke
I can't help it, man.
A famine.
Yeah, worldwide.
He got that Albany. That Albany.
No, I ain't Albany now. I'm a little further north of Albany.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna put you down. I know some people from Albany. You sound more Griffin Macon-ish.
Not you there either.
Okay.
Not there either, sir. Let's say I'm south of 85, man.
Oh shit, you McDonough. Where? When is this famine happening?
No, not McDonald, bro.
You said South 85. Oh,
All the way
South 85. Oh, that goes down towards Mobile. So that goes towards Griffin and all that shit. Stockbridge. No, that's not Stockbridge. Anyway,
Columbus, bro.
Columbus. Oh man, I actually like Columbus. Y'all got that river going through y'all city is pretty cool.
Yeah.
When this famine supposed to happen?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I saw it. I saw a vision. I went to the store. Listen, I went to the store, and the only thing was left was like a box of Cheerios. Right. But here's the crazy part: the toilet paper and paper plates were still there, but there was no food. It was so bad that I went to the freezer, and there was the frozen pizza that be in the box. Man, it actually tried. It's so bad. It was so bad. They actually tried to sell a frozen pizza that was outside the box. That's how bad the economy had got.
Okay. Well, you said so. We got an economic collapse and a famine, but you don't know when.
No, but it's coming.
And a famine in America.
Yes.
Okay.
It's for you, man.
All right.
Because there's nothing I can do to prove to you that God exists. There's nothing I can say. But the only thing I can is give you these. And so when these things do happen, you can just kind of look at it, and kind of consider.
Oh, all right.
It's for you.
I forgot. Let me write down the date here. This is the 11/19/25. That way I know what YouTube video to go back to at the end of next year and clip the shit out this.
No. You might have to keep it. Look. All that stuff is probably not going to happen next year.
No, you said the war. The war. 2026.
Yeah, the war. Yeah, the Great War. Yeah, the Great War.
And,
yes, sir.
and the Atlanta thing is not happening this year too? In 2026?
I'm not sure. It wasn't a date.
All right. He said the war. Now, according to the Bible, the way to tell a false prophet is that they give a prophecy. And then if the prophecy comes true, then they are a prophet.
They're a false prophet.
If it doesn't come true, you're a false prophet.
I agree.
So, if the Great War don't start, then all the rest of the shit is vague enough to be thrown away as bullshit.
Cool.
All right,
Greg. One thing before I get off your account, man, waste your time, man. You're very knowledgeable of the Bible and whatnot. So your parents were preachers, man?
Oh, hell no. No.
You didn't grow up in the church?
I grew up in the church, but my parents were not preachers.
Who took you to church?
I mean, we all went as a family, but I would say my grandmother was, my grandmother was the matriarch, so we all went to church. Whatever church my grandmama said we was going to, we went.
She was a praying woman.
Oh, most certainly. But I will give her credit. When I started asking pastors questions at age 9, she didn't. When people try to shun me, she never shunned me. When people try to shut me down, she never shut me down. She told me to go seek the answers. All right. So she recognized that I was hungry for the information. And my whole process, actually from 9 to 20, about 27, was I was trying to prove the Bible. Like
Can I tell you something?
That was my mission. But to have it taught correctly too.
Yes, sir. Can I tell you something?
Mm-hmm.
Soon your whole disposition of the Lord is going to change. It's going to change for you.
Dude, bro.
It will.
Bro.
I see it on you.
Bro. Let me tell you something.
I see it.
You know how many people over the last 20 years, 20 plus years have made that prophecy, and how many of them have been wrong? How many of them have made me into a future pastor? Made me into.
I ain't saying that now.
I know you didn't say that one, but I'm just saying I've had that one for over 20 years, and people saying I can see the aura around you. I see this, or I see the Spirit of God coming up on you. I had a vision about you, all this shit, and it's not, dude. It would be, I would have to literally lie to my own self and accept that lie. Yeah, now,
yes,
I said earlier, I've forgotten more information than I've ever learned, but I retain enough information to know that there is absolutely no way I would ever believe in the God of the Bible, ever. Now,
you have hope, don't you?
Hope for what?
Have you ever been through
You mean hoping?
hard circumstances?
You mean hoping to God?
No,
Or just hope?
Just hope that you get out of a situation,
No,
like a circumstance that might have been real bad. You know what I'm saying?
no, I don't have
You ever
hope.
been through that?
I've been through a lot of those situations, but I don't have hope. I have determination. I have determination and discipline, and I get shit done.
Okay, I got you.
I've never actually ever in my life hoped for things like that.
Mm.
Now, things out of my control, I would say that I have had hope for that. Like, you know, like I hope that my kids do this or that. I hope that the country does this or that. Things within my control, no.
How many sons you have?
I have one biological. I have plenty of kids that I call my son, but I have one biological.
Do they believe in God?
No.
Really? Wow. You instilled that in them?
No, I gave them the freedom to be able to study and choose for themselves. All three of my children.
Okay.
They were given the opportunity to study for themselves and come up to whatever realization that they choose. And whichever one they choose, I would respect it. And so none of my children believe in, and let me be clear, they don't believe in the God of the Bible. So when you say they believe in God, I assume you're talking about the God of the Bible. None of them believe in the God of the Bible.
Yes, sir.
One of them definitely believes that there is some type of God. She's more agnostic. The middle child, no, there's no God. The boy, my son, doesn't believe in the God of the Bible, and then he really doesn't care about any other God.
I got you. Hey, before I get off, you don't mind if I pray for you?
Yes, I do mind. I mind that very much so. I would never try to change your will, your free will. So don't try to change mine. I hope you respect my asking of you. Never pray. Never pray for me.
I won't pray in front of you.
No. I'm asking you out of respect. Never pray for me. Period.
Yes, sir.
Because I would never sit in meditation and say, I hope I'm going to meditate that Fred Greenleaf would hear everything that I teach and talk about as far as the contradictions of the Bible and so on and so forth, and walk away from Christianity. I would never give that energy towards you.
But you do know the prayers of your grandmother is what keeping you, right?
No, that's an old country ass saying that doesn't mean a goddamn thing.
Oh, Jesus.
It doesn't mean it doesn't. It doesn't mean one blessed thing. That's a nice coping, comforting thing that people like to say, but it means absolutely nothing, because if the prayers of my grandmother was doing something, then my Uncle Denon would not have died the way he died. If the prayers were doing something, then my Uncle Eddie would not have led the life that he lived and died. If they were working, then there are so many other people in the family that she had prayed for and was praying for, and none of those prayers were answered. So we do not live on the prayers of our grandmother. It's a comforting thing that people like to say, right? And then when tragedy happens or life don't go that way, well, that was just God's plan. So it's a excuse that's then given. It's a whole psychological bullshit. People like to say that, oh, we're living on the prayers of our ancestors who were enslaved and forced into this religion. Really? You think their prayer was that they were enslaved and then we got to continue to go through Jim Crow and all that other bullshit? No, it's a comfort mental psychosis that they've used in order to keep people stunted in this religion.
Okay. Well, brother, I appreciate it. I was curious about you saying demons were self-existent, because in the book of Enoch, it says that the giants, when they died, their spirit was earthbound, and that's where you get demons from. The book of Enoch is a fan fiction book that was written in the 2nd century BCE, because people were questioning of where does Enoch go? What happened to Enoch? We see he got this one little blip in Genesis, and that's it. So they created a fan fiction. And if you think about the book of Enoch actually contradicts the small little part in Genesis, because according to the book of Enoch, during the flood, the giant Og was tied to the roof
of Noah's Ark, which is not in the Bible at all. Everybody died, so Og did not survive. In the book of Enoch, it says that the giants wind up being the Nephilim were eating people and doing all this other stuff. But according to Genesis, it says that the giants, the Nephilim, were the heroes of old and the great men of renown, which would contradict a whole bunch of giants eating all the people. So Enoch was fan fiction that was written in the 2nd century BCE, which followed the model of the Greek stories. If you can compare Enoch to many of the Greek stories, especially like the Odyssey and the Iliad and the Jason and the Argonauts, Enoch follows that template of the great heroes' struggles, hero's journey storyline. This is why Enoch was refused to be part of the Torah, and it was refused to be part of the canonization because it went countermand to all the other versions of things that happened. And they just knew that it was a made-up story written in the 2nd century, that Moses could not have written it. I mean, Moses could not have known it. Moses supposedly, according to them, wrote the Tanakh. But also, if he wrote the Tanakh, then why wouldn't he have been able to write Enoch? And there was no evidence of anybody talking about Enoch, reading Enoch, studying Enoch prior to the 2nd century BCE.
I'm gonna have to do some research on that one, man.
Yeah, it was popular. It was popular all the way up to the 3rd century CE. That's why you find it. I mean, 4th century CE. That's why you'll find the book of Enoch in the Ethiopian and the Abyssinian, and I think it's Abyssinians, but you'll Albanian or whatever them other jokers are. But you'll find the book of Enoch in their canons because it was considered scripture up until the 4th century. Until late 4th century, early 5th century is when they stopped considering it scripture. But prior to that, they did. And since the Ethiopian church wasn't under Roman rule, they were able to create their own canon in 330 before the Romans even created their canon, because they were being taught by Frumentius, who was a Christian coming out of the Coptic church in Egypt. And so Frumentius thought that Enoch was scripture. Athanasius, who was the bishop in Alexander, Egypt, didn't think that it was scripture. So that's why he never included it for 25 years, that he was writing letters saying that this should be the canon, which winds up being the canon.
Okay.
But a lot of black people like to jump on Enoch because of the Ethiopian church. Ethiopia forced Christianity. The King Ezana forced Christianity on his people for political reasons, to have closer relationship with Rome. So he forced them out of their polytheistic religion into Christianity in 330 CE. Prior to that, Christianity wasn't in Ethiopia. It might have been a few people here and there, but I'm saying as like a national religion or a big religion, it wasn't present at all. As a matter of fact, they made Frumentius a slave when he first came to Ethiopia, but then they released him, let him go back up to Egypt, and then he came back to convert the king, because the king, he knew that he needed to have closer relationship with Rome, otherwise he was going to be in war with Rome. So he needed Rome to be an ally. After seeing the Council of Nicaea happen with Constantine and Christianity being legalized and seeing how it was growing within the Roman government, he made a political move to make Ethiopia Christian so that they would have good relationship with Rome, which kept Rome from trying to invade them.
Okay. I was just looking at something real quick.
What's that? Because after this, I got it. Let me get to Edward. After, so make it quick. Make it quick.
Yeah, I just looked up on Enoch. Said Og was not a character in the book of Enoch.
I don't know what you're looking at.
I'm looking.
Which book?
Because Og was the king of Bashan. That's what you talking about. Og, the king of Bashan, he was after the flood.
Hold on.
Yeah, I remember reading that in the Old Testament. Og was the king of Bashan. That's way after the flood. The Bible described the size of his bed.
Hold on. Because I don't mind if I make a mistake about something, I don't mind making a mistake about it. I don't mind correcting it, I should say.
Cool, understood. I know you're an astute person. You got it.
Oh, okay. Sorry. That story about Og being tied to the mast is in a book that's associated with the books of Enoch. The book of the book of the.
That's why I was saying he said Og, and I was scratching my head because I've heard Og somewhere else, and that was in the Bible, like the Old Testament somewhere.
Let me add one more part to this query so I can be more exact.
All right.
Okay, so yeah, I just wanted to make sure. So the reason why Og is, it's not the book of Enoch, it's the book of the giants, which is a rabbinical literature that is connected to the book of Enoch, which says that he was tied to the ark, to Noah's ark. So it's part of the rabbinical literature and the midrashes concerning the flood that he was tied to it. And that is in the book of the giant. It's just says it's closely related to the first book of Enoch. So my bad, my correction.
I'm good, man.
And the the giant's name was Agassiz, O-G-I-A-S. Ogas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll definitely.
No, that's why I love doing this, because even things that I've, over time have maybe mixed things together or don't have the full aspect of it in my head, it reinvigorates that connection that it is through the book of the giants that's connected to Enoch. And so somewhere in my mind, I've just moved it over to being part of Enoch. Yeah. But I appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
Because now I got that straight.
I know you got others to get on, but I just want to just keep what I wrote, man. Just keep.
Oh, I got it. I got it. I will keep it.
Let me tell you something. You gonna look at that mug and you gonna put out your cigar. Later in the future, you gonna sit down watching TV. You gonna have your cognac. You gonna be sitting there with your cigar.
Oh, you just messed it up. You said cognac. Hell no.
You gonna sit on the news. You gonna sit on the news and you gonna put your cigar out.
I probably won't put it out. I probably light another one. If that shit happened, I'll probably light a stronger one of my better ones, and be like, "Ooh, let me go get one of them $40 cigars." Because I better get it right.
It'll catch you off guard, man. You be chilling in your chair.
We're gonna see.
You be chilling in your chair.
Well, if there's not a World War III in 2026, bro, I just want you. I want you to come back and say you was wrong.
Okay.
All right.
All right, man. Nice to meet you, man.
All right, nice to meet you too, Free. Appreciate you.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. Freds are winning. We finally are winning in Freds because we have one dumbass Fred, and now we have two good Freds. We got my YouTube Fred and we got a TikTok Fred. Even TikTok Fred is Christian, YouTube Fred is not Christian, but at least we got two sensible Freds. All right. I don't know. So for all my I see Facebook had their issue again. This is why I say y'all should be on YouTube. Facebook, StreamYard been tripping with Facebook every blue moon. Let me see if I can. I know it's way late in the broadcast to do this for them, but it is what it is. hold on for a second. I can't fix the Facebook one, but all I can do is send them the link to, give me 1 second. Hey, what's your name? Kaylin. Are you over 21?
Yes, I am.
Okay. And are you a believer or no? In the Bible? Believer in the Bible or no? Yes or no?
Not anymore. Not anymore.
Okay. All right. So, question: what made you leave Christianity?
To be honest, I don't try to have people influence me, but I found you 2 months ago when the Charlie Kirk situation happened. Because I was searching him up and the hypocrisy of him as a Christian, and I've seen it so much as Christianity. They say that there's true Christians, but they're really not. And I've been in the church for about 3 years, and all the stuff that you taught, they never taught. It's always like the same thing over and over. John, Acts, Romans, Matthew, Luke, sometimes, like over and over again, it's the same messages over and over. And they never go into the historicity and the logic, because I've always had a logical mind. Because before I became Christian, me and my brother used to debate about the Adam and Eve story. And it's like, if God knows everything, why is he testing you? And I always had this question before I was Christian. So once I found you and you started showing the contradictions, and then I started doing my own research, and I found the contradictions within Jesus' birth and Judah dying 2 different ways. And it's just like, I just started searching up so much, and Saul contradicting himself in Acts 3 different times in his own story. It's just like, man, I was just like, I got fed up, and then I'm here now. And the thing, I wanted to call in for months, but I didn't have the courage. But now, because I had an anxiety attack yesterday, and then the chakra thing kind of like made me want to come up here, because like I've never had anxiety in my life, and it's just like, I don't know, because I'm changing so fast, of letting go of something that I had comfort in, or made me have comfort, that now I have to find a way to have comfort within my own self.
Wow. So all of this happened over the last 3 years.
Well, 4 months exactly is when I started to deconstructing, but I have been a Christian since 2022.
Right. That's what I'm saying. You became a Christian in 2022, and then for 3 years you were Christian, but then your deconstructing away from it started 3-4 months ago. That's why I said 3 years. All right.
Yeah.
And actually, and I'm glad I'm glad that you did your own research and not just say, okay, well, Coach Ren said this, so I'm just going to walk with that and go with that. Always do your own research, because that's when it becomes more part of you, right? And I can understand why you would have anxiety, because you went from not believing, searching, believing, and now not believing again. That's an emotional roller coaster, and it's also a mental roller coaster that could bring that anxiety within. Especially, I'm sure over that time frame, you've seen some good things, you've seen some bad things happen in your own life, some ups and downs, and they seem to be unexplainable. Or a Christian would say, well, these bad things are happening because you are walking away from God. These bad things are happening also because you're being tested by God. And a lot of that stuff won't make any sense, right? Because why would this loving God do all that when he, tried to say he's loving, but look at what he did to Job. But he's supposed to be loving. And then, like you said, the contradictions that you see in the Bible. And I'm glad that you found some of them on your own. So you found some on your own. That's a great thing. As far as chakras are concerned, it's a philosophy. It's not a religion, although it's connected to a lot of Hinduism, connected to Hinduism and Buddhism. It's really a philosophy. And through those meditative practices of working through your chakras, it helped me through my PTSD from the Marine Corps. I am 1% sure that it will help you through any anxieties that you are feeling. Because anxiety really comes from inner turmoil, from the experiences that you had in life and how you've related that turmoil to yourself and how you think about them. Working through your chakras, and if you're focusing and you get to the root of what's creating the anxieties, you can relieve yourself of those anxieties. Right? So I don't know, it's, of course, you're not a client of mine, so I don't know the details of your life to be able to identify what created the traumas. But if you know what those traumas are, don't deal with the symptoms that's being displayed. Don't, it's the medications or the coping mechanisms. No. Deal with the actual root of the trauma and how you perceive it. When you open your third eye, I don't know if you was here when I was talking about opening your third eye, but opening your third eye is not this super spiritual thing. I mean, it can be this super spiritual thing for you, but the main thing is that it helps you, it allows you to be able to have clarity to see things for exactly what they are. And from seeing things from exactly what they are, you can then, through that same soccer system, deal with the trauma itself. Right? So let's say somebody earlier said that they had trauma from their mother stealing money from them. Right? Let's say you had money anxiety. The money anxiety could come from that time frame where your mom stole money from you. But then when you start to see the reality that your mom stealing money from you has nothing to do with the greater society of money, it's the issues, the iniquities that your mom had, that she would do that, and she took away your trust. And since you can't trust your mom, then why would you trust anybody else? You then have to delve into the realization that your mom is not everyone. You have to take people individually for who they are, but let them show you who they are before you give them your trust. So trust is not given, it's earned. So the money issues that people have so you could be a money issue that deals from trust, not a money issue that actually deals with money. I'm not saying, I don't know what yours is. That's just an example.
But how can I be a client of yours if that's possible?
Oh, so all you have to do is just contact me. Can you write right now?
Just anything?
Do you have the ability to write?
Yeah, I can type, but just write anything.
No, so just send me an email.
Okay. Is your email on your YouTube or?
I think it's on TikTok on my page, on my little thing, but it's real simple. It's mastering, the word mastering, MASTERING, YOU, the number 10 at Gmail. So it's mastering you 10 at Gmail. I know there's a way that I could put comments into this thing, but as soon as I close this out, you won't be able to see the comment anymore when I'm finished with the live. But I've done it once where I actually wrote a comment on here, and I don't remember exactly what I did because I found it by accident. Oh, found it again. So I'm going to type it in here. So you see it?
Is it supposed to be in the comments?
Yeah, if you look in the comments, you should see Deconstructing Christianity host, mastering you, the number 10 at gmail.com. I don't know if you can screenshot that right quick or something. But yeah, just contact me through that process. And I'm going to warn you. There's a pre-package that you have to fill out before we have our first session, because that pre-package is going to tell me a good 80% of what I need to know about you before we have our first session, so that first session is not spent discovering things about you. So I already have that information. So there's a pre-package that you'll need to fill out first before, you'll make your payment. I'll send you the package. You'll go through that package. And once you've completed it and sent it back to me, we schedule your first session and we go from there.
Okay. I just wanted to ask you one more thing because I think a week or two ago, I've been barely starting to tell people that like, I don't believe in God. And I told one of my Christian friends, and he called me on the phone. He was chastising me, yelling at me, and he's like, "Oh, it's your heart sinning." He's like, "Have you been smoking weed again?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You've been drinking again? You drunk?" I said, "No." And then he's like, "You've been having sex with women again?" I said, "Not yet." And he got pissed off. It's just like, and I'm telling him all the contradictions, and he's like not listening. And he's like, "Oh," he's like, "You think you can be moral without a God?" I said, "Yeah." Like he's basing his morality to be good only because of a reward or a punishment. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, "Damn, why didn't I say that?" I didn't think about it because I was so heated in the conversation that I started to think, I'm like, you shouldn't just be good just for reward or, a punishment or out of fear. You should be good just because you're a person. But he's saying, oh, your atheist mindset is you're just chemicals and brains. And I brought up Leviticus 25, Deuteronomy 21, and he's just like getting upset, like, oh, well, that shouldn't matter to you because morality is subjective, right? So rape and slavery should be okay in your mindset. You're just chemicals and brains. And I'm like, bro, I can't listen to this guy. He's like, he was really irritating me.
Yeah, and you shouldn't listen to him. Anybody who's going to attack you in that format, you should walk away from, because all they're doing is creating disturbances within you. When you look at their motive, you have to find out what their motive is. When a person is coming at you saying they're asking these questions about, are you smoking weed? Are you drinking? They're looking for avenues to be able to say that that evil spirit is causing you to think this way. But when they don't have that, then they become angry and start just casting out whatever they can in order to discredit anything you say. Because if they allow for you to discredit what they believe, then really they feel like it's a personal attack on them, and they now have to challenge that, and they don't want to challenge it. They don't want to challenge their own beliefs. So they have to shut you down from the challenge. And my best would be to just walk away from people like that. Don't talk to people like that. You don't need everybody in your circle. Family is the one that you choose, not the one that's forced on you. Friends are the same way. So you don't have to deal with that person. I don't care who they are in your life. And if they can't respect you, then there's no reason for you to give respect to them.
All right. Yeah, he just told me he wants to meet me up a couple of weeks, man. My old pastor, just seeing where my head's at. But I feel like they're just trying to convince me. And I'm like, man, I already have my mind made up. Like, you're not about to bomb rush me and bleed me. It's like I don't. So.
Yeah, they are. That's exactly what they want to do. They want to bum rush you and try to, like earlier in the chakra system, we talked about fear, guilt, and shame. They want to utilize those tactics of fear, guilt, and shame to get you to come back under their umbrella so that you can walk the same path they walk, which makes them feel better about themselves. Instead of giving you the autonomy to be able to research things yourself, come to your own critical thinking decisions. That's what they do, because that's all that they have. They don't have anything else to do, because if they were to truly open up their mind, they would see the contradictions. They would see the immorality of this God, but they got their own brainwashed coping mechanisms to keep them attached to it, because we don't live in a society that allows all those things. And you were right to say that people are moral all over this world who do not believe in a God, period. And there are people who are moral who don't believe in the God of the Bible. So if morality only comes from the God of the Bible, then how is it that the similar moralities are in every other country where they are dominated by Islam or Hinduism or Shinto or any other religion, but they yet still think that rape is wrong? They still think that murder is wrong. So obviously morality comes from civilization. It does not come from some God or the belief in a God.
Man, I'm just glad I called in because, man, everything you said, I forgot to mention he did. He's like, oh, why didn't you come to me first if you had doubts or questions? It's like, man, I'm my own grown man. Like, I got to come to you and ask you, even though I can see it right in my face and read and say, oh, because when I told you earlier about the Adam and Eve thing, I'm like, it said, oh, you will surely die. But then you were reassuring me, it says, oh, no, you will surely die spiritually. And I'm reading, I'm like, where does it say that? You guys will keep inferring and making up stuff to just prove your Bible right. So it's like, man, I can't deal with y'all. I already know what they're going to say. I've been a Christian or was a Christian for 3 years. I already know what you're going to say.
Yeah. And that's how they try to attack you. And they utilize doctrines and don't even realize saying that they died a spiritual death is a doctrine. There's nowhere within the Bible. But it's the only way they can explain away how the word yom that is used there is a 24-hour day. So they have to either explain away by saying that they died spiritually, or that yom could mean 1,000 years. I'm surprised they didn't throw the whole, was it 1st or 2nd Peter, where it says that 1 year to God is 1,000 years to man. That has nothing to do with Genesis and the word yom and how it's used in the context that is used. But it's a coping mechanism for them. And they rather you come to them first so that they can re-indoctrinate you into the religion. It's truly a sad thing.
Like, I appreciate you, but I don't know, like, when I listen to these lives, I'll be like, how hard is it? Because I love to listen and I love to learn. Like, how hard is it to just keep quiet, let you speak, get your take off, and then and then I say something and we have a respectful conversation without interrupting and disrespecting each other? Like, why we gotta over talk? When I hear it sometimes, I'm like, man, can you just let him finish and then get your point off after? Like, I don't know, man. I just love listening and I love learning. And you're helping me through that journey, but I'm also going to do my own research. It's like I really don't know you, and I wanted to meet you before, but you live in San Antonio, I live in California, so we got to figure it out. So
yeah, we will. What part of California?
It's near Riverside.
Oh, really? At some point next year, I know I will be in San Diego.
Yeah, when you said that to Obi, I remember people, man.
Like, I watch you. Yeah, you've been watching.
So so Obi, he said he was in San Diego, and you said you're gonna go. I was like, dang, man, I can drive out there. I don't care if it's like 2 hours. I'll drive out there. Really? Just pick your brain and see, and you can get to know me more. Or obviously through the culture, and that's what I want first.
Yeah. Anytime I travel somewhere, I let people know where I'm traveling to, so that if there's an opportunity, then we can meet up. But yeah, sometime next year, because got to go see my big head friend in San Diego. So we will, even if it's just like a 6-day trip, go to San Diego, visit with Brandon and them, and I'll take time to meet with people who are in the area. And Riverside, I thought Riverside was right up the street.
Riverside, you gotta go through Moreno Valley. It takes a couple hours to get to San Diego.
Oh, I thought it was over there by Oceanside and all that.
Oceanside is going towards LA. Oh no, San Diego, Oceanside. My fault.
You know what?
I know what I'm south. I'm going south.
I'm thinking about Riverside, North Carolina, which is up the street from Camp Lejeune. So I'm thinking Riverside, California is up the street from Camp Pendleton. So that's where I'm making a disconnect. Okay. No, but we'll make it happen, because when we do come there, if we have time, I plan on going up to LA anyway. So we'll make it work.
All right, man. I appreciate you for everything you do, man.
No problem. Look forward to hearing from you. We'd love to be your coach.
All
right. Appreciate you. Thanks, Kyle. That's what this channel is for. That right there is what this channel is for. Got about 21 minutes left. You're in LA as well? There was a comment that I saw. If you can express more detail of what you mean, because I don't know what I was saying when you said this, but teach that. Teach what? Chakras or coaching people? What exactly do you mean by that one? There, just need more information on that one. I guess the other person wasn't really trying to come up. But yeah, and Lily was saying it's good to listen and then do your own research. Exactly. And I want people to do their own research, because just like when I was talking to the other gentleman, Fred, about Enoch, I was taking the Book of the Giants and smashing it together with Enoch. So we need to do research. And unlike some of these people who don't like being corrected, I love being corrected. Merino Valley, they call it Madura Valley. Okay. How are they able to talk to you? Well, those people were on TikTok. On Facebook and YouTube, you can click on this link that I just posted. Was it Sharice? Yeah, Sharice Hill. I was about to call you Shares Shehil. I was about to mess your name up. Shares Shehil. Yes, I do teach about chakras as well. I don't teach about chakras in the Hindu tradition. I utilize chakras to help people to know themselves, overcome traumas and issues that they've went through within themselves. I use a combination, though. Actually, I use the combination of chakras and the Hermetic principles, which I originally was going to talk about Hermeticism today, but then my spirit said chakras. Tomorrow, though, I am going to talk about Hermetic principles. But yes, I do utilize those, and I utilize actually quite a few philosophies, depending upon the person that I'm working with. I figure out what philosophy connects with them more, and then utilize that philosophy in order to help people move past issues, make their lives better. That's the whole purpose. Make your life better. You know, if your life is sucking, or it's not it doesn't have to suck. Like, I look at my life and I say, okay, how am I competing against myself right now? Am I winning against what I could truly get out of myself? And I look at my clients in the same way. You know, how can they win more? How can they have more peace, have more love, have more time, have more happiness? Whether, you know, how can they be in more bliss? But if you click on that link, Sharice, you'll be able to come up. I don't know if you saw it, but I posted a link on YouTube. My Facebook people have to come over to YouTube because it's Facebook acting stupid. But yeah, there are going to be plenty of other days that we talk about other philosophies as well. Not that I'm getting bored, but I just want to add more of. So a couple of years ago, I used to talk more about chakras and Hermeticism and Nietzsche and Socrates, Plato, all these other different philosophies that are out there, Shinto, Taoism, hell, even Buddhism, because I see Buddhism as a philosophy, not so much a religion. But it started becoming like people, I felt, and I could have been wrong, but it seemed like it was like people were leaning into it becoming a society. I don't want to say a religion, but more of a society. And people start asking, let's build a society. Let's create. And what did I call it? I called it the Hermetic Learning Society or something, the Alchemical Hermetic Society, some shit I called it. Because I used alchemy as well. And then I thought, do I want to be responsible for people in that regard? I was like, and at that time frame in my life, I had too much going on. I had a popcorn shop. I knew I was either going to open up a second popcorn shop or open up the cigar lounge. I wasn't sure at the time frame. Kevin Wesley wanted me to do some stuff with him, and I was helping him with some stuff. And I was like, that was too much. So I was like, nah, I'm going to put a pin in that one. But I think there's a way we can do it where it's not a society, but it doesn't look like a cult, because I'm not going to ever be a cult. We're not doing that. Really, Sean? That's a different Sean, but really Sean. I am not going to be a cult leader. No, I am not going to. Actually, it was funny. I was talking to my wife last night, and I told her that when we was actually talking about this very thing, and I was saying that if we develop some type of society, one of my strong pushes would be for the members of that society to become more financially stable. And I would literally tell people, do not send money to the organization if you cannot pay your rent. Do not send money to the organization if you're not first investing in your long-term life, right? Never send any money. Like even right now, if the $5 membership, because if you do the $1 membership, you don't get shit. You just supporting the channel. If you did the $5 membership or the $5 subscription, then I appreciate it. But if that $5 is causing you financial stress, do not do it. Get on here and get all the free information that I talk about, because I do more free videos than I do videos for the members. Do not do it. If a super chat is going to cause you any financial stress, don't do it. If buying a shirt is going to cause you, don't do it. If signing up for the webinar that I'm doing on December 14th through Eventbrite for 9 businesses you need to start in 2026, if that is going to cause you any financial stress, don't do it. I don't want you to spend any money on any damn thing that I do if it's going to cause you financial stress. Even when we had our meetup, and I just posted on a link for the Eventbrite. When we did our seminar, when we had our meetup here in San Antonio, I didn't want people coming who it was going to cause them some type of financial stress. As we grow this channel, grow this family, this group, you will constantly hear me say these things over and over again. Do not spend don't try to go on this damn cruise that we're going to do October 31st of 2026. And I guess we better do it before the Great War starts. But don't try to come on this cruise that leaves out of New Orleans and go to Chichen Itza, this 5-day cruise. Don't go. Don't put your $100 down to reserve your room, your cabin. Don't find a cabin mate. Don't do none of that shit if it's going to cause you any financial stress. Because when you have financial stress, that financial stress creates romantic stress. It creates family stress, friends stress. It creates work stress. It creates all this damn stress. And even though food will kill you in America faster than anything else, food and stress on top of each other, you will surely die. And as far as I'm concerned, you have just this life. So don't do it. Don't do it. Get to a point where you can. Now, I will say, yes, my Financially on Fire webinar, you got to pay for it. It ain't free. Can't do everything for free. But get your shit together first. If we have started an organization, one of the primary things will be get your shit together. Get your money right. Get your relationship right. Get your health right. If you ain't getting those 3 things right, don't do any damn thing extra that I'm talking about. Don't do anything extra. I don't need your finances, and understand what I'm saying, how I'm saying this. I don't need your love. I don't need your relationships. Don't add me to your relationship if it's causing you problems in your own relationships. You understand what I'm saying? I need you to get right first. That's the it's not the right way a person who's supposed to be doing podcasts and all that kind of stuff. Let me tell y'all something. Podcasts, and I see a lot of podcasts that they remind me of Saturday morning cartoons. And understand what I'm saying by that. The Thundercats, G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man, Those were cartoons that were created as long as commercials to sell toys. They were not designed for your entertainment or your upliftment. They are designed to sell toys. I see a lot of podcasts that are designed to sell subscriptions, memberships, clothes, merchandise, so on and so forth. It's a great business model, though. That's why one of the 9 businesses that I'm going to talk about is starting a podcast. And there are multiple different ways of doing it. You can utilize in today's world, you can utilize AI. There's so many different ways you can. There are different avenues of approach. You don't have to be in front of the camera yourself. But when you start a podcast, you have to say, why am I starting it? And if you're doing it as a business, then your podcast has to be engineered to finance the business, create revenue for that particular business. Right? I don't have to do it for that purpose. It's just an add-on for me. But that's why I gave y'all that whole big long ass caveat just beforehand. But if you're doing it as a business, you want to walk away from your current business. You want to have that control over your time. You want to be able to do it from anywhere. You want to live wherever you want to live. Then it is a great business to start. In 2026, it's one of the 9 is to start a podcast. Right? I know a woman whose podcast on knitting. She knits, y'all. She knits and crochets. Whole damn podcast. Gets paid to go to knitting conventions to speak about the newest crochet knot. I don't even know if that's a thing, but yeah. She was just telling me she's going to show them some new shits. I was like, oh, wow. In Vegas. Whole crocheting convention in Vegas. It's funny as shit to me. I love just think about that. Some of the most mundane things that you do in your life, the world is now open to where you can build a business based on that. And just podcasting is one of the 9 businesses you should be starting in 2026. Now, if you start one that is already flooded, you're going to have more difficulty standing out. But if you can start one where it's not flooded, you have a great opportunity. Like that SMB lawn mowing on TikTok? Now they fucking up on TikTok. They really need to have their stuff on YouTube and Facebook. They might be on YouTube and Facebook. I never looked. But if that dude can literally make the money on there, because for some reason it is so soothing to watch them take these yards that look like hell in a basket or hell on a stick and clean it all up. It is so soothing. I will watch those videos every time they come on. But I know a real estate agent. She realized that before COVID, she started doing house tours before COVID and started really upgrading her house tours. Based on the analytics of hers that I saw, she was pulling down somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000 a month just on her YouTube channel from house tours. So her being a real estate agent, she got some money off the real estate agent, but that was where the money was coming. That was a steady stream. And if you don't think people start churches for the end result to make money, you are lying to yourself. It is not to make people feel better. And here's the thing. Out of Babylon, no disrespect to you, sir, always comes on here, always talking about how money is evil and we need to get rid of money and money. There is an audience for that. I'm not, but there is an audience for that. I disagree with Out of Babylon 100%, right? Disagree with him. Because that part of the Bible that says that what is it? What profits a man to gain the whole world and yet loses his soul? That's a great tool that many pastors use to get money out of people. Because now it makes you feel like, oh, this money that I have, I need to give it to the churches. I need to give it to something else. The rich young ruler didn't want to give away all his wealth. Those are great tools used by the church to get money out of people. right? It is a reverse psychology by making money the disdain thing, knowing good and damn well that no society has functioned without some type of commerce. It just doesn't. Even in the hunter-gatherer situation, there was a level of commerce. So Out of Babylon could utilize that to create a podcast. And even though the podcast will be geared towards people getting away from money, you can build an audience big enough that that podcast provides you enough money to live a lifestyle, depending upon what that lifestyle is, but to live a lifestyle. There are people out there who will follow that. There are people who seem to never be able to get the money, so they need some type of coping to say that it's okay that they consistently and continuously don't have money. So you would be providing them a coping mechanism for their lack of increasing their funds or having enough funds. They ain't gonna stop trying to get money, but they'll feel good listening to your videos about the money. All right. This is actually a good question that out about. Can everyone be rich by simply applying themselves? No. Hell no. Absolutely not. One, everybody can't be rich. That's not going to happen. Now, there are varying degrees of what rich is. So if we were to say that rich is having a net income 500,000 a year in America, that would be in America and most European countries. That would be considered rich. Let's just say that was the scale, the standard. No, just by applying yourself, no, you're not going to. Not everyone can do it. And there is no society that has ever been in existence. Well, let me not say that. No, they still had a chief. There are societies where distribution was more equally put out, but it's never been 100% fair where everybody received the same thing. That you're not going to find. Can there be just having a society where everyone is rich, 500,000, that's not going to happen. You're always going to have levels to this shit, to this thing. Just applying yourself, no. This is why the overwhelming majority of businesses fail every year. This is why there's a high percentage of people that drop out of medical school, law school, engineering schools, the higher paying STEMs stuff. There's always people who can't cope, can't deal with it. And then there are people who get out into those fields and they don't get the opportunity, nor should they deserve the opportunity because they just don't measure up. So no, not everybody can become rich. It's an impossibility. And we're just working hard. And this is a good additional statement, but we are taught to work hard for it. And yet 10% of the world makes 100K or more. Exactly. Working hard does not guarantee a return on that investment. I can work hard as hell. My grandfather worked hard as hell working on a street crew. Before he opened up his construction company, he worked hard as hell. First, he was shoveling the damn stuff. Then he got to where he was driving the little truck, the little machine that got the big round solid ball wheels, where it smashes down and flattens the stuff and makes the road smooth. He worked hard out in that hot ass Georgia sun. Shit wasn't never gonna make him rich. He was never gonna get to the point of making six figures doing that. You can work hard. Hard work doesn't get you there. It is smart work. It is timing. It is discipline, which would be your hard work. Your hard work could fall into the discipline. But working smart, having the right timing, the right product or service, that's what's going to make the difference. Yeah. And then if it's something that requires a location, having the right location makes a big difference. How do you attract attention? You have to be able to attract attention to whatever it is you're doing. That's what makes it work. I'm sure the people who developed TiVo worked hard, but TiVo never made any money. Sony and RCA made the bulk of the money because they had better marketing. You got to have the right stuff in place in order to do the damn thing. Right. And a lot of it, and I know No said with a little luck, a tiny little, and a luck is the tiny bit. You position yourself for the luck to happen. You have to position yourself for that, right? As I said the couple days before, the day before, or last week, the fact that I had 5 clients when I first started my personal training company. 5 clients. When I recognized that Kim Hairston was my biggest promoter, if she needed something from me, if she needed things changed, if I came to her house and she said, "Can you move this sofa for me first before we start training?" Hell yeah, whatever you need. You're my biggest promoter. Now, if Lynn or Sharon, or I forgot the other lady's name, if they ask me for something, maybe. If out of the nicety of my heart, maybe. But if Kim Harrison asked me for something, she got it. Because I knew where my bread was buttered. So it's a little bit of luck that I got her as a client. Circumstances. She came in the door. She wanted a client. She wanted a trainer. I became her trainer because I had just started there at this gym. The luck part was that right time, right place got her as a client. Then I had to do the job to make her want me to maintain that relationship. So I had to do the work, get the results. And then when I said I was going to go out on my own, she was like, "Can you wait for my contract to be up here at the gym?" I was like, "I'll wait for you. I'll make sure I'm here for your time frames. All right. So I'll wait for you." But when I saw what she was able to produce, I worked her like a business. You have to. You got to know what client to give that attention to. And this is a sad statement. He said his issue is, he said, "My issue is knowing that everyone, no matter what, will be asked out." You use the finite term of everyone, which is dishonest. Everyone is not asked out. I'm not asked out. My wife ain't asked out. The people who came to our meetup, they were not asked out. I go to Atlanta, especially in Atlanta. One of the things I don't particularly care for here in San Antonio is the people here are not as industrious as the people in Atlanta. And I know that's a city kind of mindset, but I know plenty of people in Atlanta, they're not asked out at all. The overwhelming, you're always going to have broke ass people. You're always going to have people struggling, but they're not asked out. See, that's a defeatist attitude. That's a defeatist attitude. See, if you was my client, I would try to find out what is it that happened in your life or that has been happening in your life that is causing you to see the glass empty. You don't even see the glass half empty. You see the glass empty. Why is the glass empty in your life, in your mind? Like, what has happened that caused that? Right? Because everybody can make money. Everybody. I know of a guy who started out as a homeless guy selling water on the, at the intersection, sold enough water at the intersection to be able to live, little hostel-like apartment, then saved his money for like 7 or 8 years, utilized that money to come out with his own brand of water, kept selling his own brands of water, got it into some stores, grew that, and then ultimately got it into Amazon and sells water like a champ on Amazon. Started out homeless. A homeless man can do that. Timing, dedication. There are so many opportunities out there that people just ignore. And then people don't have the discipline to create. Yeah, you might be able to create a little hustle here and there, but can you create beyond the hustle? Like that's what that's one of the things we're going to be talking about on December 14th is creating beyond the hustle. You can, anybody can go create a hustle right now and make a couple of $100 to a couple of $1,000 a month. Anybody can do that if they're willing, if they have the discipline to do it. Right. I'm gonna give you one of the other ones from the 9. I'm gonna give you the short version of it though. You can literally utilize things like Alibaba to find products that are produced in these warehouses that are manufactured in these different countries that you can get for the cheap, and then you can bring them into America and sell the shit out of them. If you go in there and say, okay, what's hot, what's selling in America right now? Yeah, you're not going to make as much money because you're going to have a bunch of people already doing it. But if you can continue, and it's trial and error, but you got to put some research behind it. And some marketing, you can find, there are items that you can find that people don't know that they need, but you create the need. Like iPods was created a need. Nobody needed a freaking iPod, but Apple created a need for an iPod, and then MP3s, and there was already MP3s and all this kind of stuff, but they created a need for something that you didn't know you wanted. So if you can create a need for something, and then you're the first and you're the main player, like silly bands. Ain't nobody need no damn silly bands. But that dude went to Japan with his last $25,000 from a failed business that he had previous. He had moved back home with his mom, went to Japan, saw all these people wearing silly bands, all these kids wearing silly bands, bought the American rights, came back to America, sold them, wasn't really making a whole bunch of money at first. But then Cameron Diaz had it on her wrist when she was on the late night show, and he made $2 million off some damn silly bands. Piece of rubber plastic around your wrist. All right, this is going to be our last call for the day since it's 3 hours and 37 minutes into the show. God dang, Calvin. I think that was an accident. So anyway, and I see his, out of balance. And again, I see how I can see how to make money. My issue is not so much a personal one. I get what I need. If I cared, I believe I can get more. Yeah, you can. You probably can. I don't know you, but I see the tenacity that you have as far as that one subject matter. So I know that there is some level of discipline within you to do something. And it seems like you have a care for the world, right? And that care for the world can be monetized if you so choose. But it ain't going to happen just talking about it. I can tell you that. If you really wanted to change the monetization mentality of the world, then you would go ahead and build an organization. And guess what it takes to build an organization? It takes money. It takes money. And so you would have to become a political leader. You become a movement leader, and that still takes money. If you really wanted to change the world as far as how it sees money and views money and deals with money, right? Some people would say it's insurmountable, but I would never say anything is impossible. Anything like that is impossible. Our world society has changed multiple times, but it takes a lot to change the world. It takes a lot. So anyway, yeah, I agree with Chuck Norris. Less money is not the answer. Less money is not the answer. And this world is going to take it would take a mental shift in the world in order for us to come to a thought process of Ubuntu. It would take. Honestly, it would take. What are my predictions at? It would take in 2026 there happening World War III plus a worldwide famine plus the asteroid hitting for the world to make a mental shift. It would take something very traumatic to happen for the world to make a mental shift of sharing. It would. Like that's what it would. And even that, you're still gonna have to have some. You still will have some elites because somebody got to run the whole world sharing model. You're still gonna have the elites, right? So you're never gonna get rid of the elites, right? And that shift, it ain't. I doubt if we see it in our lifetime. I plan to live to be 150, so I got about what 94. Wait a minute. I plan to be 150, so I got about what 94, 96 years left. I doubt if I see that within the next 96 years. But anyway, that's the show for today, you guys. So as you know, we changed it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday is the show. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Look forward to it. Please continue to share the videos and like and comment on the videos that I produce after these shows are done and throughout the rest of the week. I appreciate everybody who does donate to the channel. As I said before, if it causes you any stress, don't donate a damn thing. I was doing this without donations. I'll keep doing it without donations. So I just appreciate when y'all do that. If you want to know more about businesses you need to start in 2026 before World War III happens, then definitely join me on the Eventbrite. And hopefully that will, hopefully, if you don't have the mindset that you want to make some financial changes and increase your net worth, don't sign up for it. If you just want to listen and you ain't gonna do shit, don't sign up for it. I don't want you to sign up for it if you're just gonna listen and ain't gonna do shit. Right? I only want to talk to people who are gonna do some shit. Right? Just like for the Financially on Fire, I only wanted people who were actually going to go through the process of fixing or increasing your credit, managing your money better, investing, so that you are moving into a long-term situation where you're not old as fuck and you're sitting up there having to get the early bird specials all the damn time. So yeah. But hey, y'all have a great day. Always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations. And we are closing out for today. I'll see you tomorrow at noon Eastern Standard Time.